Welcome back, one and all, to Dreamworks, Dungeons and Dragons.
Dreamworks, Dungeons and Dragons!
I am your Dungeon Master, August Schmidt. With me, as always, are the wonderful members, the Peacekeepers of the Moon Group. Say hello, Peacekeepers.
Hello!
Oh, it's good to see you all. It's been a fun week, but indeed, as we journey back to the lands of Dreamworks in the high, icy mountains northward of Ilvenor, we found the party in a bit of a dilemma. Shen investigating more about this K-Pa, who is now ruling China. Jinji having a Nat 1 dream, seeing Pitch Black make a deal with Kasich Kepson, the man who has committed the heist of treason at Ilvenor and escapes in his body. Of course, Valka doing some I almost said Blood Ranger. Blood Hunter, that'd be wild.
Whoa.
Blood Hunter checks,
Making a
realizing,
new class now?
right, Pitch is not here. Obviously, he could come back, but for the time being, he seems to have gone somewhere. Meeting with Queen Rayhan to discuss this, of course, Queen Rayhan kind of told you guys how she actually had a week of nightmares where Pitch tried to get her basically into this deal, and she had to commission a pretty high, powerful little amulet to keep him out of her dreams. But of course, you guys narrowed down 3 places the shard could be. One of which Minarith very successfully deduced could not be is the Temple of Odin. Though indeed a very powerful place that not many evil things can enter, it is a place you've been, and Minarith noticed from her dream the road did not add up. Indeed, where did Rudis the Fisk hide this shard? You did learn there are some druidic circles high in the Alps that King Wolfric, actually his people, honor and revere as part of their maturing process. And of course, up there are other mages and druids that might know a little bit more about water magic to help investigate the third place, something down with the Fisk in the ocean. Shen, you have written off to your wolves. Adora, you found out that a princess known as Mermista came through, went to the oceans northward of Ilvenor into the Arctic, but of course, as you all headed off, you had to meet with Hans Leifson, who after a bunch of Nat 20s decided, I know my true calling, and I am now the Dragonsmith, and is now opening up a little shop to promote that. In the Alps, Jinji carefully speaking in Giant with an ogre that indeed was running from something else. As you all entered into this combat, a giant frost giant, known as a Jotnar, as Valka would remember, you all very carefully tried to hide. Unfortunately, just a few unfortunate stealth checks did not pass that passive perception of this giant. But before the giant could do too much, you all took advantage of some of its traits called, excuse me, I just had a mind blank, and now I can't remember what the traits are called. Telegraphed actions, excuse me. Took advantage of this and prepared yourselves to sneak attack, stamina point, everything you could, and Adora slashing through the Achilles tendon as icy blue blood ran down like a river into the mountains. This Jotun was slain. 2 things happened at the same time. For the rest of the party, what sounded like thunder. Jinji, you knew enough to translate as more Jotun chanting, who has killed their brother? And Adora, you received a mental communication from Swiftwind, your steed, saying that he is close, but he got captured when flying over the Alps, as indeed he picked a poor place to try to fly over instead of skirting around the mountains. This is where we will begin our session, is in the mountains, where you can all immediately talk to each other, make checks, and do stuff.
Can I just point out, looking at this map, how much I love/hate the body of water that looks like a giant handprint?
Indeed, gonna share screen with Tyson and Rebecca so you can start seeing some of the screens we got going on here. Indeed, a giant handprint of blood as the rest of the body has fallen and kind of like rolled down the hillside through this valley. I will say, effectively blocking off a big portion of the road. It's not a terrible obstacle, but the body is there. Jinji, yes, you had something to say.
Yeah, so I... Yeah. how far away am I from the giant that just died?
Not far at all. He's really only about 50, 60 feet away. Like, anyone running up, I'd even say a lot of you can go grab your horses again, as thankfully you weren't in that terrible situation of like, oh no, our horses are gone. So yeah, Gingy, you're close.
Okay, I'm going to touch him and spare the dying.
Oh!
This could be so bad for us.
That could be bad, but that could be really cool. Gingy, you run up
Holy
and
crap.
cast the all-important Spare the Dying. I will say, I'm going to be a little fair. I'm going to roll 2 death saves for him. You just don't want a nat 1, really, because he could be dead. Here we go.
I was thinking it'll be worse.
That was a nat 1.
Just have an army of giants.
Oh, that was a nat 1.
That was a
If the next
nat
one's
1.
Success, he's fine.
If the
Yeah.
next one's success, he's fine. I will say, a lot of shot. He is blinded. His Achilles tendon was cut. Like, he is in terrible agony. That is a 10, an exact success.
Perfect success.
Meaning he is stabilized, but again, thankfully it also wasn't that 20. He's not up. So, Gingy, you run over as the rest of the party. Indeed, you can have your steeds. Gingy, you cast Spare the Dying, and it takes a half a moment. Indeed, something that thankfully you guys didn't have to deal with. Just like telegraph actions, it takes a while for certain spells to affect giants as well. And so, Gingy, that's why I had to roll 2 death saves. As the first round, you feel your magic slowly spread, that sweet sucrose scent enveloping the giant, and eventually you realize that he is stabilized. The blue ice blood has stopped forming and is instead congealing like crystalline structures along his body. For the rest of the party, as
Yeah,
Gingy...
I'm supposed to tell everybody to book it.
And now we run! Indeed, do you want to try to make checks to get beyond the giant back to, like, Ilvanor way? Or do you want to go, like, further into the mountains in that idea of, let's see if there's somewhere else to hide in the
I would like
mountains?
to go get my horse.
We already
Yes.
have them.
I'm allowing horses for free, because...
Oh, no.
Oh, Swift with your steed.
Oh.
So Adora is saying definitely further up because she wants her horse.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Why did we save the giant that we just killed?
Because I don't want an army of giants after us.
So are you hoping to convince the giant and all of his brothers to leave?
She's hoping
I am
that...
hoping that they will see that he is not dead and they won't chase us.
Okay, time to run. She's not planning for us to stick around and be anywhere near when they do find him, but she's hoping that'll at least slow them down, if that not, oh, we need to go hunt somebody down. It's not like, oh, well, everyone's fine, right? Like,
I mean, horribly
how much do
crippled,
they care?
but alive is the key here.
Okay.
Indeed, time to run. Where to? Further up in a different place in the mountains, or get over the giant and back out into the more
Into
forest
the
area
mountain.
back to Ilva.
I would like to go further into the mountains, please.
So further into the mountains
That's
in
my
the
goal.
idea of out of this valley, but somewhere else. Okay.
Because we still need to try and...
we still need to go to the Standing Stones.
Yeah.
Exactly. The druidic stones, the standing stones, are still one of the big things. You're still a bit of ways from the village of the druids up here. What I would then ask is, as a party, it would have been one check or the other. Can you please start by making me a group stealth check? I will tell you, it's not an actually bad DC right now. It's not like anything's technically
But
close
half
by.
the party has armor disadvantage right now.
Yep.
That's very true, which I think is hilarious.
Ooh, that's good on the first one. That was better on the second. Okay, I
Oh,
can
that's
20
so
and a 17 total. So
I have to say, on each roll, you somehow narrated the opposite of what I got. You're like, oh, that's good on the first one, got a 5. Oh, that's even better, I got a 2.
I got a 15.
Minerith is coming into her own as
All right,
a 14.
Shen got a 13. Valka got a
You guys do not
15.
understand how lucky this is. With disadvantage and plus 0 to dex, I rolled. One of them was a 15, the other one was caught between the 1 and the 13. So I re-rolled it and got a 17 on that one. So I'm sitting here with a 15.
15.
amazing.
That doesn't help me.
So
I am
far,
covered in
Adora is
giant's
the
blood.
only one with a
My
2.
horse is doing the real work.
Gingy just got a nat 2 as
Oh
well.
no.
Thankfully, you are at a
Oh.
party majority.
Okay.
So we are not in any... Thankfully, with a DC 11, it's actually, really not a
that was
terrible
nice of
stealth.
you.
Nothing's close by enough, no monsters or giants to really start, like, going. As again, any flora or fauna that is sentient is gone after this Jotun was chasing the ogre
That is
here.
fair.
Including that ogre who is like out of there. We will then cut as all of you leaping on your horses, Gingy back onto Valka's shoulder, Hya! Off into the mountains of the Alps, high in this northern wasteland. After a good half hour, Gingy is no longer hearing the chanting of the Jotun, and indeed, you guys are not hearing any immediate thunderous footsteps, what we would know as someone following you, right?
I make a religion or arcana check to see if I'm getting closer to Swiftwind, like if I'm going in the right direction.
Actually, yes. Are you ready for this? I have a specific mechanic set up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw. It's, not like arcana specifically, but it's more using your wisdom
19.
save. A 19 is pretty good. Adora, you've never had great success in the mental bonding with Swiftwind.
Not really.
This strange Pegasus, technically unicorn, but it's technically more of a Pegasus.
Prima donna. What?
Prima donna.
I love
In
this
your
so much.
mental connections, you reach out, and maybe it's because it's not Eternia. Again, Eternia is just so chock full of all kinds of magic
Yeah.
that it's like the line is much more open. You won't be able to communicate on a 19. I know that sounds crazy right now, but trust me, it fluctuates. But your mind, you kind of reach outwards and get the distinct impression you are getting closer. Thankfully, it's not like, oh no, he was somehow out of the mountains. It's that because you are continually right now going upwards into the
And
mountains,
I'm going in the right direction.
you are going the right
So,
direction.
Onwards and upwards.
Like right
Not
now, it's a
down.
good enough geographical location. It's going to take a lot for you not to be going the right way. Valka, yes, question.
Remind me, did we make a check last session about what are the Jotnar doing on this plane of existence?
I don't believe we did, according to my notes. I may
Is
have.
that like a check that we can make of like, isn't this weird that we just ran into them here? Should they not be here?
Exactly. I would say, Valka, you could definitely be the one to make this. I'll give you a history with advantage. Because you come from a Nordic faith society, like, you know of these giants more than most,
I'm
I would say.
wondering if this is any like, I don't know, is a scheming check a thing?
Yeah.
We know that Adora and she says other people
Mhm.
came from a different world, like plane world, and maybe both. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could it be the same thing that brought the Jotun here?
Yes. And because I'm Pedet, Jotun is a singular, Jotnar is the group.
Jotun,
So
yeah.
the Jotnar, as like, it's kind of like how you would say the difference between, this person's, now I can't even think of a great example at all. You could say someone is a Mexican person or Latino or Latina person, but you could also say the Latino or Latinx
Yeah.
community as a whole. That's
So
kind of the difference of
Jotnar.
the Jotnar as a whole. I think I would allow, go ahead and give me an insight check of the similarities to Eternia as its own plane world and Jotunheim as its own.
Nat 20
Oh my
plus 4.
gosh. We'll start with a history
Yes.
check because that will probably help this. Valka, what did you get for your history?
21.
21.
I am so glad you're playing Valka.
Valka, there is... Jotunheim is one of the 9 realms, surrounded by Yggdrasil, the World Tree. The last time there's been any recorded legend, myth, history of the Jotnar was, in all honesty, like, close to millennia ago, like, back when the Aesir first were warring with them, you know, driving them off of the mortal plane. It's something where you're having to wonder, I think, and allow me to flavor it like this. In this sort of history check, it's, well, there's nothing technically that they can't be here. You know, that idea of like, hey, same reality, different sides of the tree, so to speak. But I think on your history, on a 21, it's, but there's a group of them this close that have been, according to reports from Queen Raham that you all know of, is that these things are starting to become aggressive. These people are starting to attack. Indeed, this creature was trying to eat this ogre. He did not look friendly to you guys. I mean, Gingy did a very smart thing of spare the dying so that we're not causing that further problem, but this dude wasn't a pacifist by any means. So I think, to answer the question, maybe not in the way you would think, Valka, it's when the Jotun are here at this level, 1 or 2 is different than a group. Again, Gingy heard maybe a dozen, which sounded to you guys like thunder in the mountains. A dozen Jotun is
Army.
an omen of an army. Like, that is
Oh.
Like this is the scouting party?
like, yeah,
Like
that's a great way to put it.
Ragnarok?
I would also give you on a we'll get to that.
21, she got the nat 20.
In conjunction with this, a advanced party, like you say, definitely means that it's the best of the best. Jotun don't send like scouts of like, hey, Erik, do you want to just pop down to the mortal plane real quick? I know you're only a shoemaker. Like, no, this is like, if they've sent an advanced party, these are some of their best warriors. And you guys definitely took advantage of that. He didn't know to attack us quick enough, and we dropped the Jotun before he could hurt us in that level. A nat 20 Minareth. As far as you tell from Adora, you've talked with Adora, you've spoken with Valka, Gingy, Shen of what you all know about the events of the world, and Jotunheim is its own plane of existence. But I would say it's way more known than Eternia. Eternia, as far as Adora can tell, the plane Despondo sounds like it's not even a plane. Not even a demi-plane.
So, like,
It's
we
somehow...
didn't even know that it existed, but we did know that Jotunheim
It's like a full pocket dimension outside of a dimension, which is why it's no one was able to bamf in and out. Even now, there's problems getting back and forth. Jotunheim is a known plane, but it takes a lot of planar travel. And on a nat 20, combined with kind of what you all know, there's no known gates to Jotunheim on the mortal plane.
Oh.
Because, well, size, right? Like, you would have to build a truly monolithic structure.
I'm not gonna lie, that looked dope.
It would look dope, right? I mean, a giant gate for giants. But it's like, A, there's no, like, gate for them to appear here. And B, kind of like with Valka, they are mythological, if we're being honest. This world has frost giants, fire giants, like giants as we
Right.
would know. But a Jotun, this ice warrior of a plane of existence that battled the Aesir gods, that's unheard of. And so I think your insight, it's clever enough in that nat 20, they're not connected, but they are thematically connected. If the Jotun, again, with Valka's history and with that nat 20, it's, if they're here, that's not just an omen, that's an advanced part. Something big is happening right now that spells and smells of doom.
So then that makes me feel like the Jotunheim really are harbingers of Ragnarok kind of thing. In which case, equal and opposite reaction. Maybe people coming from other worlds that we didn't even know existed might be the response to that. Like, straight up.
I mean, I thought I just broke the sword.
What was that, Shen?
But I mean that.
And Minna thinks that you're a race of God anyway.
Oh, you're good, yeah.
Okay.
With that being the case, you guys fled into the mountains. You know, right now, you're looking at a solid 3-4 o'clock. It's not too late in the afternoon. But the giant kind of messed up the internal clock in terms of you're not sure how long it's going to take you to get to the druidic cities here in the Alps.
That's fair.
So you could continue riding. I will say, like, up into a point of you could choose to stop if it gets too dark. Or if you want, you could say, like, do we take now to be a downtime, like, camp off the road for the night to be ready to, like, ride hard in the morning to get to the city.
Would we rather go for stealth with disadvantage or speed?
Coming from someone who has disadvantage on stuff, I'm okay riding her.
Does that sound good to everyone else?
I mean, we do all have horses.
Yeah. So that seems like the more practical solution.
So, ride hard in the morning?
And no one lost their horses.
And no one lost the horse.
Because you are kind, thank you.
Well, you guys did take care of the Jotun fast. Too long, and the horses definitely would have run off. But they were still in range of, like, a passive animal handling to call your horse back is fine.
Thank you.
So I think what we were saying is ride hard now, so we don't have to try and stealthily make a camp and not attract attention.
I see what you're saying. Excuse me. Yes, ride hard today, so we're not in any way stuck in the middle of tomorrow.
Yeah.
What I would then say is, I am about to make a very important percentile roll.
How many Jotuns are
I don't like percentile rules
How about
because you
you
can't
in there?
influence those.
Can't influence those. Actually, it's a very clever loophole. I'm like, yeah, because everything in D&D says, if it's a D20, if you let it be a
I
D20.
hate that you
No.
found that loophole.
And I swear, I don't try to use a loophole. There are just things that I'm like, a percentile helps much better mathematically for what I'm trying to accomplish.
not? Oh crap! Please don't say that relates to the Jotuner. Then, if there are a D100
As the day continues, the sky grows continually darker. Ice builds as snow starts to fall lightly. Shen, it's definitely that, like, every few minutes you're kind of, like, ruffling all the feathers to keep it from forming. Gingy definitely nestled more into Valka's small coat pocket to stave away the ice. As I would like a group animal handling check. Gingy, of course, you don't have to make the animal handling check, but Gingy, you can provide any sort of help action, guidance, or bless if you would like to.
I did get a 5 total.
5 total.
Hey, better than me, I got an 8. No, wait, no, worse than me, I got an 8.
Yes, that is not.
Guys, I'm bad at math. I thought we knew this.
You're fine, don't worry.
You're good. So we
I
got a
was
5 and an 8. Shen, what did you get?
I'm 11.
11. Valka?
8.
8?
Twinsies.
I have +1 to animal handling. I don't have great wisdom.
I don't, even if, Gingy, if you give a help action or a guidance or a bless, I think the only person that could succeed is Shen, and that's not enough.
So we. What if
As-
Gingy gets a nat 20?
Gingy, if you roll me a nat 20 animal handling right now, you all succeed.
You can do this.
I'll
again.
bet that. I'll bet that. I'm a gambling man.
What's a 5% chance?
5%. You'll love to see it. That's a 6. Gingy, as
How do we
everyone
all
is
so
struggling to
badly?
keep their horses on the trail as snow is building, conditions and weather grow terrible, Gingy, you get the great idea. The horses just need sugar cubes.
Oh gosh.
I mean, that's all any beast needs, especially a horse. Gingy, after giving each horse a sugar cube, these horses get the ADHD jitter horse-like. They cannot be controlled.
Oh, that's funny.
And indeed, let alone the storm. That is actually what is starting to stop you guys. Before too long, you realize the sun has begun its descent, is halfway in those amberish beams across the sky, and the weather is not letting up.
We gotta find a cave somewhere.
If you would like to look for a cave or shelter, you can make me, we'll call it a nature check right now.
Nature or survival?
I actually think I'd allow either nature or survival,
Are we
depending on
doing
what
survival?
people want
Is that
to do.
equals 4?
Oh my gosh.
23.
23 Adora,
11 survival.
11 survival, 7 for Shen,
Roll above a
6.
6.
My dice hate me.
Minrith, Shen. Again, horse ADHD is a real problem, apparently. And it's not like I could look for a cave if my horse wasn't like every 2 seconds trying to run down a random pathway or through a tree. Like,
Sniffing a tree. running
Gingy, that's a 24 with Adora's 23.
Dang.
After some time, you will both be able to notice a small cave off in the distance. Something that it doesn't look very deep, unfortunately, but it's enough where you're not going to gain points of exhaustion for staying outside in the elements.
That's good.
As you make it towards the cave, you all will be able to slowly unpack, brief blankets, fire is started, and before you all rest up, I need a Constitution saving throw from the party.
Oh crap, you
There's
said
no
last time that I'm
way.
really close to...
Ha!
Oh no.
That one.
Nat 1! Adora,
Yay!
no!
17.
Oh no!
That's a 17.
Do I fail?
Minarith, that is a failure.
Finally it resets at least.
Shen, on an 11, you succeed. Gingy, on a 5, you fail.
If
Oh,
I
no.
failed more. Let's just have the
Gingy,
record show.
Minarith,
that's
Adora,
annoying, though, that
Valka, what
Shen
did you get?
passed with an
14.
11 and I fail with a
So,
17.
Valka, you and Shen succeed.
Yay!
Y'all get a good night's sleep.
Valka and
He needs a
Shen.
good night's sleep and we're gonna face Jotnar in the morning.
Here we go. We are going to describe as Gingy and Adora.
We just need to hurry up and level up Gingy so she can banish them all.
I know,
Please.
we're just going to speed run Rebecca's
We're
character
gonna
arc
stay in
so
the
she
mountains
can
for a
get
couple of
banishment.
weeks, so we can have a training arc. So that
There's
Gingy
some
can
goblin
just
camps we can send in New York speed.
Is there's goblins are actually hibernating right now because it is
Dang it.
winter.
That's a shame.
That's one of those things. Thankfully, we're not dealing with
Wait,
goblin
there's
parties.
seasonal movers?
Yeah.
They move with the season? That's really
They move
cool.
with the
I want
seasons.
to know about the migration patterns of goblins.
Would
now.
you really? Because I had a
Yes.
lot of fun deciding how goblins
He's
work
like,
in this
I've
world.
been super
I do,
excited about
actually.
this.
Most of the goblins, if you find deep enough caves, you will find hibernating goblins. Not very Tolkien in that sense of like they're just hidden, but very much that like they burrow into this giant kind of like rat king kind of horde and just kind of like hunker down. They usually
That's
raiding
fair.
parties heavily in the fall to gain a lot of animal fats, meat, stuff from adventurers that they barter and trade in towns to get stuff, and literally just
That sounds very Jawa of them.
yeah.
Stealing stuff from adventurers so they can sell
So
it.
they can resell, yeah.
You're
Well,
right.
because they're very sentient. These aren't like random little creatures. There is a difference, although between. Anyway, I'm gonna stop
They're
with.
hibernating like how we were told bears hibernate, like cartoons sleep through the winter.
Yes,
Or,
that is
okay,
what they
'cause
do.
Bears, Island, they don't actually sleep through the winter.
Mhm.
They don't.
Oh
They're
yeah,
conscious of
bears
what
like wake up a ton because they do still need to eat and move around. I
And
mean,
they
it'd
don't
be.
just go like all the time. They don't.
Yeah, these
They don't make
goblins
us
very
smart.
much are that the second their eyes close, they don't really
Pegasus.
awaken until the
That
defrost.
is like a, sorry, I didn't think about it.
That
As
is ingrained in my
we
head.
will cut first because it's a nat 1
Oh no.
to Adora.
You know, we can
You
just...
love to see him. I say in a very shaky voice.
Adora. You look around and suddenly your party is gone. You don't remember falling asleep. But if not a dream, it means something just took all your party members in a second.
Not comforting. Is there anything around me?
Go ahead and make me a perception check, Adora, as you look around like, well, my party members are gone, what else is here?
That is a 12.
After some time, you notice that the firelight is dying down, but it is not naturally being put out. It's as if a reverse flame, shadowy flames, are starting to flicker against the fire, slowly engulfing it from all sides, until even what should be hot coals are now just dark, grayed out pieces of bark and ash. And once that happens, leaning out looking at you, just hear, impressive, is it not?
You again. And Adora kind of turns around to expect to see Pitch, I'm guessing.
You do see Pitch.
Right. A little bit. Sure. What do you want?
Oh, to talk.
I mean, you already got the body.
Oh, I have. It's been centuries since I've met Ashira, and I realize we've never formally introduced ourselves.
You met Mara?
Of course, I met her predecessor too. Well, I mean, Shira is such a big term. Didn't meet the first, I'm not that old. But I mean, Shira's a big. You're chosen, you have power, greatness, you wield the sword of protection. Protection power, whoever's touching it, right?
Yeah. Yes. I'm gonna try and make an insight check.
Insight for what?
I want to know what he wants.
Yep.
Because having a other figure that's enveloped in shadow for most of my life,
This
most
is
people want
the
something.
Shadow Weaver vibes are very strong right now. I think you're
Yeah.
correct in that.
It's like, have you met Shadow Weaver? You should go on a date. Both of you look lonely.
That
You know?
would be the grossest ship in Dreamworks.
That would be the worst shit.
Go ahead and make me that insight.
It was an 8. So I
It was an
genuinely
8.
don't know. I'm guessing.
Pitch is such a mysterious being. Even when it seems obvious what he wants, it's hard to gauge reactions from something that is seemingly made of shadow, intangibility, right? Normally you can have a tell on your face, but when your face is simply a reflection of a shadow, like, it's hard to gauge. Pitch looks at you, Adora, as
I go,
sitting...
it's kind of hard to top Shadow Weaver with the whole shadow thing.
Who?
Shadow Weaver. The mage from my world.
Adorable.
No, you should go outside my world.
Listen, Adora.
Your toxic personalities will just blend perfectly.
I have something you want.
Like what?
The Sword of Protection.
Bullshit. You don't have the full...
6 out of 7.
You do not understand how many parties have gotten sword shards and he's ended up with them.
You know, you champions do not live up to your names, by the
You
gods.
do not
You-
understand how many pieces of this sword he has. Sorry.
Almost every single
God,
party,
no, I'm
save you
so
guys, because
angry.
you're still getting
Because
your
we're still
sword shard,
looking for ours.
have gotten screwed over by Pitch
I
in
will
a
say
big
that
way.
makes me feel better.
Yeah, oh, please do, yeah.
That
No,
does
like,
make us feel a little bit...
Pitch's entire build is to steal sword shards from people, and he's looks to see. But you see, he looks at you. We're only one away. I mean, you guys are getting close. Found the Jotnar. You're on your way. But what's gonna happen when you get one shard, Adora?
It means that you don't have the full sword.
Exactly. I've only got 6. Darn. What a letdown. 6. Plus the hilt. Have to thank that raccoon for me. Oh.
You're working with the raccoon?
No, he's one of the champions. But I have friends. Adora, listen. I want the shard you're looking for. And you want your sword back. I swear on my dark father, I will give you the sword back once it's reforged.
There are so many
Dude, you
loopholes
just-
in that.
Oh, pff, if you want a contract, we'll make a deal. But listen, Adora. You can have the sword. I don't care for it. I don't think you understand. This is a nice sword.
Oh, really?
Oh, come on. Given to Eve, mother of all, slayer of beasts. And with it, she made Shira pass down lineage, the first ones. Oh, sad child Adora, stricken from her world, brought here, yada yada yada.
You just told me more about my entire existence than I could pry out a Shadow Weaver of my entire life.
Well, that's the difference between me and mages. I will tell you what you want to know.
I feel like, and this is stepping back narration-wise,
Yeah.
Adora is actually conflicted. Because she's made deals with entities before.
Yes.
She's made deals with Shadow Weaver before. she's gotten screwed over by Shadow Weaver, but technically Shadow Weaver a Baldr for Ent.
Mhm.
She doesn't know that about this entity.
Yeah.
Right? Then it's almost like something deep, almost not to totally like play on the whole Eve, but something primal in her says no.
Don't eat the fruit.
Don't-
Sorry, you're the one who brought up Eve.
Yeah. Don't eat the fruit.
Yeah.
Well, you see.
But it's,
yeah.
it's the, in her logic, he's trying to make it seem like it's words I'm trying to say, like, oh, I only have 6,
Too
but it's,
sweet a deal?
yeah, he cannot complete the sword. He says that he'll give the sword back to me once it's forged, which means he needs the complete thing, which means I can prevent his ass by
Mhm.
getting the shard first.
You see, you have this realization. Pitch is like continuing his pun intended
Monologue.
pitch, his
Yes.
monologue.
Wah, wah.
He kind of sits down. You see, he swirls the shadows around the fire around a finger. Adora, you are a powerful person. With that sword in your hand, you are terrifying, girl. Come on. But listen, we're not that different. No, don't roll your eyes.
We're not so different, you and I, says every villain ever.
You were born for a purpose, so was I. You were told stories your entire life, lied to by the people who raised you, taken by a demigod, put upon a pedestal, told you were destined for greatness, and shunted. I'm hitting some marks, aren't I? But guess what? I'm not talking about your life. Adora, I cannot use the sword. Sure, I can have the pieces, and each piece provides great power of She-Ra, but that's not its intended purpose. Do you know why I want that sword reforged? A sword that you could turn around and slay my ass like that.
Sorry, continue.
No person in their right mind would willingly make something that would kill them. But do you know why I need it?
Heard you're trying to unleash something.
Family. I need my family back. The family that I was ripped from. Birthed into an unnatural world, raised my entire life. I have a chance to do what any sane creature would and get their family back. And I don't even want to keep the spoils of war. You can have the sword. You and your friends can continue championing for these gods, living your wildest dreams. I just need your help. All I need is when you have that shard, just call my name. Invite me over. I don't even need to possess you. Probably kill me if I try. I'll give you the sword. I just need you to use it. You get everything you want, Adora. You get the sword. You get your friends. Hell, with that, you might even be able to cut back open to Eternia. Given time, you can do whatever you want. Just help me get my family first. And then you get everything you want. To undo your past mistakes. No longer a tool of the first ones, nor a savior of Eternia. You can be whoever you want. You just need help getting that shard.
August, I sent you a text
Send me a text.
of her internal thoughts.
Gotcha. That's your internal thoughts. You see, if you take me up on it, I'll give you a hint. Let's see.
I'm taught by some good friends to not sign a contract the day you're in.
Fair. think on it, Adora. And Adora, as you feel yourself wake up from sleep, that snap open, all your friends around taking shifts, the fire dying slowly, we cut over to Gingy. Now, Gingy, this is the second time in a row you failed one of these checks. I do need you to take a point of exhaustion. As that's 2 nights in a row. Gingy, as the nightmares close in, thankfully, you don't see any big visions. You're not plagued by pitch, but you are unfortunately hounded by memories, shadows of your past, the magic and death that led to where you were, all of these subtle mistakes or questions you've ever had, until, Gingy, you realize you can't remember when you woke up, as it feels like the nightmares just drug into the daytime itself.
Ew.
For the rest of the party, Minareth, you don't get a good night's sleep either.
Yay.
As all of you awaken. And I now need to roll again for the storm. The storm is getting worse. I'll let you know, for every hour you are outside in this storm, you will all be taking cold damage. It's that severe.
I'm resistant.
Resistant, of course, with that armor.
Hey, I feel dumb. I should have asked this yesterday.
Yeah.
Is the storm being worsened by the presence of the Jotnar? Because, like, they brought some of that magic with them just by existing from Jotunheim, which is this very icy plane of existence.
Would that suggest that the
I
worse
mean,
the storm
quite
gets, the
possibly.
more Jotnar are around?
No, I think it's just we need to kill the ones that are here. Because it's also, again, they sent 12 as this advanced party. Probably the rest are still in Jotunheim.
I mean, there are hundreds upon hundreds of Jotnar, like, they are not, like, a couple. It could be very much the storm is just a manifestation of their presence. That is indeed a very plausible theory, Valka.
Either way, if it's, like, bad enough Rayhan was complaining about them, we probably should kill them.
Yeah.
But, like, also, we should probably then be more worried about resealing off the planes or figuring out, you know, what high-level mage bamfed them here, or, like, you know, stopping
So that...
plugging the gap so that they don't just keep sending
Yeah, because that would be a problem.
Yeah. Here's what I would say. From where you are, if anyone who wants to can make me a history check to try to gauge how long it will be till you get to the Druids. Because that's going to help you understand how to get through the storm currently. 7.
It did get a 16.
9.
16, 9, 7,
You said
5,
history?
history.
That is a 19.
A 19. So, Valka, I'll say, well, actually, there's a couple things. Valka and Adora, you will know the, shall we say, very specifics. You are looking at a 3-hour through the storm with your horses. Best speeds, not going too fast as to injure or risk danger, but not slow enough that you're spending more time out taking damage as you ride. Shen, with an 11, you actually will get something. Unfortunately, Minareth, Gingy,
No,
you're
that's
below.
fine. I
But
expected
Shen,
that.
on the 9, you will remember something a little more, shall we say, passively. Not so much of the time difference, but more of as the location. You know that the city of the Druids exists deeper into the Alps, nestled between 2 mountains. Technically, it is actually a subterranean city, if we're being pedantic about it, because 2 large mountains that had crashed together eons ago due to tectonic force have made a really nice little valley underneath, meaning if you can get there, Shen, you are well and protected from the storm. It's not even that level of, oh no, what happens if we get there and they're stuck? It's, this is definitely where to go.
That's good.
For the rest of the party, it then remains the question of how do you want to ride out into the storm to get to the Druid City?
I've checked my spells several times and so far haven't found anything that I think would be
Or
helpful.
we can try to ride steady.
If you ride steady, that is going to be 3 separate checks of 3 hours through the storm. That's a steady ride.
I think that's probably our best bet.
Best bet, okay.
What do you guys think?
Here's what I will say. If we're going to ride steady, I will need, for those with horses, we're going to be making a couple different checks. Now, kind of like with chases or other things, you can choose the ability you're going to use to try to get through.
As long as we can reason it out.
You've got to reason it out. It's still a higher DC, of course. And of course, Gingy, you get the all-important, you get to kind of wait and see who needs your help action, because you don't got to ride a horse, my friend. You're tiny. Feels good. So, we're going to go through one after another. I'm actually going to start in a bit of reverse order from that check earlier. We're going to start actually then with Minarith.
I am going to do performance like I did when we were tracking
Kepson.
Thank you.
Kepson. Yeah. A
Where
performance.
I'm just trying to imagine that I am an expert trapper, explorer type of person and try and...
What would a trapper do? How would
Yes,
they think?
exactly.
How would I weather the storm? Go ahead.
16?
16 will beat the DC. Shen, that will make your try. What check would you like to make pressing first into the storm?
I think I will use investigation to try and find the best footing.
Yeah,
Thing.
I like it. Go ahead and give me that investigation.
Oh,
Synth.
I'm almost at 20.
I
I
know.
am so sorry.
Still a synth 20 is solid. As indeed, Shen, you are definitely now leading, so to speak, in this first hour through the heavy storm, finding the good paths, everyone following behind. Next up, we will go with Adora. What check would you like to try?
I'm gonna try an athletics.
Athletics.
Kind of like me and the horse are being one, and we're gonna push through this.
It's a sport kind of thing, right?
Good thing I picked the one with the highest modifier. Golly, that's a 13.
13. We're gonna save because a 13 doesn't succeed currently. So we'll save that. So, Adora, you're bearing through, but definitely it's hard. I mean, the hail is basically icicles at this point as the wind is just whipping it into thorns in the air. Valka, you're gonna be the last one before Gingy can offer certain help actions. What check would you like to make?
I was actually also thinking athletic for that combination of like, oh, am I struggling against the horse, the ADHD with the reins, or like, are the places where I get off and help clear the path for my horse?
Gotcha.
So-
Very smart. It's athletics, right? It's a strength-based
It's
thing.
lots of physical.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's cocked.
Yeah.
That is 9 plus 5 is 14.
Barely succeeding.
Whoa.
We almost had 2 failures. Gingy, would you like to offer the help action or any other stuff to Adora right now?
And you buy
Oh,
Help action. Awesome. Also, keep in mind for Gingy, Minarith, Adora, you didn't get the full benefits of long rest. You were able to short rest, so if any... I don't think anyone was really hurting for hit points, but just like certain abilities, keep that in mind as we go
Yeah.
through. So, Adora, here we go with that help action.
25.
25. Yeah, Gingy, you make the tiny little mugs of hot cocoa, pouring it into Adora's mouth every so often this first hour. And Adora, there is a very magical restorative process to hot chocolate, and you push through, kind of taking inspiration from Valka. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna move my horse's path first before I even think of riding. You will all make it through the first hour. I will only have to roll 1d8 of cold damage for the party instead of more for people that failed. Okay, 2 points of cold damage. Have to Valka with the armor for 1. So only 2 points of cold damage right now. That's actually a solid way to start. Here we go. We're going to now that we kind of get the vibe, go ahead and just tell me what check you're going to make. Roll it, and we'll go through and count up at the end.
Same thing.
So, Minrith, another performance check of
14.
performing my way through. 14. We'll get to that. Here we go. Valka, what'd you get?
21 athletics.
21 athletics. Shen, what did you get?
I got a 22 on investigation.
Solid, my guy, solid. Adoro, oh, you're rolling right now, I see it.
16?
16. Minrith, a 14 doesn't succeed this time, as the save is now a 16.
Oh, frick.
Exactly. It is, again, the storm, you all will realize passively, it's getting stronger the closer you get to the city. Not in the sense of, I should say, it's not like it's, oh no, we're getting closer to the eye of the storm, but just that, like, it is intensifying as a whole.
Okay.
Can I have help?
Yes, Gingy, would you like to give your help action to Minrith or do something else?
Yeah, I'll get help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're good. And I should say, I don't want to just, like, assume you're helping in case, like,
that's
you're
an
like,
18.
ooh, I'll do something else.
Oh.
18. You realize Minrith really needs the cocoa now. Gingy, rush over atop the snowbanks and just start pouring up.
Thank you.
We are now to the last... snow check. 5 points of cold damage for the party, half to 2 for Valka. This is the last check needed. Once again, you may roll, and we'll tally up in a second.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Minrith, that is
A 10.
10 performance. Shen,
25.
Shen, you got it.
You
It's
got
we're on
higher
a straight
each
path, my
time.
guy. We got this. We got this. Valka,
7.
7. Adora,
9.
9.
Oh!
Valka,
Natural two.
Adora,
With a
and
plus
Minrith
7.
on a 7, 9, 10. You did all fail the DC 18. Gingy, you have either one help action. Actually, yeah, because right now, unfortunately, stuff like
Nobody
Bless
will
or
get
Guidance
this
isn't going to
plus.
push
Yeah.
anyone over. So, who would you like to give out of the 3
Who
that
has
failed?
The highest addition?
Who
I
would
have
you like to
+7.
give the buff to?
That's probably you then.
Does anyone else have a +7?
I'm a +7 in athletics.
Okay,
So,
so
How do
me
you guys have
and
such high
Adora.
stats?
I don't
Because I
know.
have a 20 strength.
My
I have a
literal
23
highest
as well.
stat right now is a +5.
I'm sorry.
Well, hey,
rough.
if it's any consolation, my dex is a 10. I.e. fumble.
So me and Adora both have a +7, so it probably makes more sense to do one of us.
I was gonna say give up.
Well, no, because it,
If she
Try
gets a
again.
help action,
it's
then
that
Yeah.
who I was most likely to.
statistically,
Statistically speaking,
Adora or
either we have
Minrith
a greater
if
chance of
Gingy helps him
succeeding.
out. So, what's the vibe, Gingy?
I'm with Papadora.
Adora. Alrighty. So, back to Adora. Go
got
ahead,
this.
roll
Very much,
again.
Gingy. We're
There
gonna
you go.
do athletics one
Just
more
need
time.
11 or higher.
6!
Oh, you hate to
It's
see
for
it.
a 13 total!
Oh, you hate to see it. Indeed.
I hate digital dice.
I will roll first for
cold damage.
the cold damage of Gingy, Shen. Yours is just this D8.
Ooh, okay.
2 points of cold damage to both of you. I get to roll a D12
Oh no.
for the 3 that failed.
Guys,
You
I'm
can
at
still roll a
17
1 on a
hit
D12.
points.
I could still roll a...
Oh, squishy sorcerer.
Yeah, I only have 24 max.
How many hit points do you have left?
17.
Oh no.
And you're sure the Yetton fight didn't push us
So
over level
technically,
5?
even if
Nobody
you
is
roll
not.
I
max,
did
you're
check
not gonna
that.
die.
So here we go.
Yeah.
D12.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
That is... Where's the dot? Is that a 9 or a 6?
It's a 6. I can feel it. Minarith can feel it.
Also,
I
you've been, like, turning it around in
believe-
your hands.
Well, because I can't tell if how they're
Okay,
placing the dot.
I'll look
Well,
and
no,
I promise I
It's
won't lie.
because, see how the dot's
Yeah,
over?
I see what you mean.
So this was, I think it is a 9. Because I was looking like, usually you put the dot below the number on
I
the dice.
think, unfortunately, it is a 9.
Right? So I was trying to gauge
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
a 9.
right, like,
Dang, that sucks.
it was so confusing. I'm like, oh, sure, it should be a 6. But then I'm like, but every other number has it above.
Woo.
That is 9 points of cold, half to 4 for Valka.
So 11
That was
points
the
of
worst one.
damage.
Oops, I accidentally added
Minarith,
it.
you are...
What are you guys
So
at?
I was at 17
I
minus
am now
9.
at 8.
How?
I'm at 8
You're
as
lighter. Oh,
I didn't heal because I didn't have a long rest.
Yeah.
Were we
But
able to
she
short
could've
You
rest?
couldn't short rest it.
rolled hit dice.
I feel like with the nat one.
But it's a choice. I allow it. So
I just
Adora's
give
at
myself hit
8,
points on that one.
Minarith's at 8, Shen's at 14, Gingy, you're looking great, my guy, at 22 out of 31, and Velka at 33 out of 40. I will say, you don't have great buffs, but you got the most hit points.
Yeah, I am beefy.
Yep.
As the world
great armor.
becomes nothing
That's
but
right.
swirling ice and storm. Gingy, after a moment, you just have to hide in Adora's armor because it's that Gingy, like, you can't even run across to help anyone else. It's that bad of a storm. You might fly off.
Oh no.
But after some time,
Have you put in armor though? Were you also like warming up?
that's what, it's kind of that Gingy of, like, it's why you didn't have to make any checks, but you're still getting cold, because you're, like, quick, like, running from person to person, hiding their clothes, and, like, feeding them little snacks.
I love that.
Like, and then, like, sprinting quickly through the storm and, like, re-warming yourself and feeding more gumdrops and hot cocoa. We cut now to the city of druids, Baldr's
We
Haven.
made it.
Oh no! Baldur's Haven, of course.
But we made it.
You have made it.
Oh, I didn't expect that. I thought that we were
Anything
gonna
here
have another
references
round.
Baldur's Gate, I'm gonna crawl over that table and beat you myself.
It's Baldur's Haven, totally different. Baldr spelled B-A-L-D-R, not Baldr, like, you know, that very anglicized.
This is the Norse god Baldr.
The Norse god Baldr.
Uh-huh.
Baldur's Haven, the city of druids. You all immediately, Shen, first one to notice again,
Tell me
first
there's
out the gate,
growing somewhere.
with Valka, Minrith, Adora following in that train. Shen, the storm immediately seems to cut. Not completely stop, but hard cut as you realize you have passed through one of these large stone passes and feel the wind completely cut out. Simple snow seems to keep falling, but off ahead, through the dappled light reflected from storm and sky into this large cavernous city, Baldur's Haven stretches before you. You see different tents and houses and abodes where clans gather. You see magic is being practiced in the druidic fashion of small circles of stones and trees. Nothing big enough to be the standing stones you would think of that probably Wolfric was saying, but like miniaturized versions where apprentices and other forms of acolyte go to and fro with scroll, spell component. As you pass through, people immediately start clocking you guys coming in.
Oh,
And
nice.
Shen, being in the front, you see riding forward, heavy Norse horse, you know, with the thick mane. A man rides forward. For lack of a better term, very much looking like you, Tice. That very shocking blonde hair, blue eye, but very like that kind of terrifyingly muscular. Where you're like, you could be a thin person, but it's like, wow, you definitely work out every day. Like that's a little terrifying. Rides forward to meet you. You see, as approaching, the man stops, like, holds back, and you will notice, Shen, though it looks like you see the striking resemblance in the eyes and nose to King Wolfric.
Oh.
As just, hail, travelers! I'm Jorgen, leader of Baldur's. I almost said Baldur's Gate.
You almost
Dang
said
it.
Baldur's
I know it came out. It's in my. I made these names before the game, okay, or before the announcements. I am Jorgen. I am leader of Baldur's Haven. Welcome. Who might you be?
And I want to say if this is feasible.
Or you're still coming out. So this is Shen who has to introduce you.
Okay.
You're good.
It's okay. We're popsicles.
We are the Peacekeepers, and we have come on a mission from the Queen, as well as the King. You bear a striking resemblance to him, I might say.
You see, he kind of chuckles. Right, that would be my cousin. It's a pleasure to hear from you. Do you have letters of note? Indeed, you've got small little things Queen Rayhan would have given you, like, and King Wolfric of like, hey, if you're heading to my city, here's what to bring. You see, Jorgen takes the note. Welcome, of course. Here, we'll lead you to our abode. Get out of the storm. These are pretty frequent these weeks. As indeed, at this point, Velka, then Minrith, and after a few minutes, Adora, that final stretch. Because again, you didn't notice how far you had spread. I did roll, thankfully, nothing really could attack you in the storm. But you had spread out a little bit just due to natural weather. Getting inside, passing through what's actually known as the Arms of Baldr. These giant stone monoliths that have cracked together. That, like, you can kind of see where it'd be a hand, but it's definitely one of those things you're like, yeah, I get it. Entering in, passing through the villages, Jorgen brings you through the towns, past small little crops of different winter vegetables and root vegetables that are growing, past these apprentices and acolytes, and at this point now can talk to all of you. You see, he reads the quick notes, handing back to Shen. Pleasure, Peacekeepers, to have you here in Baldur's Haven. Again, you seem to have come a long way. What news from the Queen and King?
That's not the fun part.
2 attempted coups. They didn't happen. Everything's fine.
Is everyone safe? Immediate. Jorgen's like, wait, what?
Yeah. So apparently, why am I blanking on the dude's name?
Cassie Kepson.
Thor's nipple! As he screams in anger and just like, you mean to
he
tell
was apparently messaging down.
I never trusted that man. He came here, never trusted him. I said before, I said he was a bad man. Is he dead?
He's on the run.
God! And she curses
He
again.
was gonna be executed, and then due to the help of an evil entity, he escaped.
Boy, he better be being helped by an evil entity, because if I ever see him, he's gonna meet the broad end of my hammer into his anus.
As he says that, Adora looks at Shen and like everyone goes, I like this guy.
Do you have experience hunting demons?
I know, I've heard stories, but again, my place is here. Wolfric was gonna take charge, and then, of course, he met a beautiful girl, and you know the rest. No, I've stayed here at Baldur's Haven and the surrounding mountains my whole life. I apologize for my outburst. I've known Kazakh for some time. He was friends with my brother ever since he went off and got married, of course, but I never liked him. There was something off about him. Every time he would shake my hand, it felt like he was trying to be my friend rather than, like, an acquaintance of, you know what I mean? Like, we can be like, we know each other, but he was trying too hard.
Yeah, apparently he was making connections all across the realm
I
and
don't
putting in seeds
doubt
of
it.
the king and queen aren't strong enough.
That slimy locust piece of... Yeah, I get it. No, you're fine. I'm glad no one's hurt. Again, the king and queen.
They're both
Good. Well, thank you for, of course, coming then with this news. I apologize again. Sorry. I mean, I'm good. So, anyway, you said, though, you were coming... further news, though, of these coup attempts.
Yes. Sorry, Adora realizes, like, kind of awkwardly that she's been talking too long. I'm like, if one of my colleagues wants to take up on that, because I know I've been talking for a second.
That, like, yeah, past the story.
We'd like to raise 2 orders of business with you.
Hey.
First, Rehen and Wolfric sent us to examine the standing stones for something that Kepson's patron might be after, that we might be able to find first. And second, on the way here, we ran into some Jotnar. Are you aware that they're in the area?
Oh. Right, I need a drink before I can answer either of those.
Fair.
Oh,
Come
I
with me.
killed one.
Yes, of course. Do you take ales or mead or wine? You see at this point, because he is looking like a couple of you
I
look
don't
more
want
human,
honey.
definitely with Shen and Gingy, like, what's your kind of drink of choice?
Need.
I think Vox probably going for me. Wouldn't that be the more...
Heartier meads
I
are
am
definitely
very
the
much
staple
done
of the
with
north.
honey drinks after all the episodes.
I'm not. Pass it over. You know?
Let's say, yeah, Shen, he's kind of looking at you.
I would go for a wine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
it's
do
very
have
Shen.
wines. It's just, yeah. You see, as he goes, he's actually calling out to people, like, right, bring it to my abode, like, kind of, it's a very community-centered, right? There's not like anyone, this is my servant, or this is my friend. It's kind of that, like, hey, can you bring this to my house? As Jorgen brings you deeper into Baldur's Haven, until you definitely see this very nice abode, very much where you think a chieftain would live. on the outside, you will notice, Valka, you immediately passive history, a statue of Frigg with her arms open out, and you see in one hand is like a ethereal flame, and the other is like plant life that seems to grow in this kind of like dichotomy of some of her big stuff.
That's cool.
And you see as he approaches.
Just tell me in a place called Baldr's Haven that the plant growth we're seeing is mistletoe. I just need that detail in my life.
It is mistletoe.
Thank you,
It's
like just for the lore. It's beautiful.
the lore.
The lore!
The lore! Indeed, as you approach
The
in,
lore.
Jurgen dismounts his horse, wraps it. You actually see around one of Frigg's arms, like one of these statues. It's not a big statue. It's like a human size. Kind of wraps his horse around, just tie it up. Frigg will protect him. As he kind of like,
I like
Very
this.
chill.
yeah, very
I have
chill.
a question for you, sir, because these gods aren't familiar to my own. This is
Oh.
okay custom.
Frigg, goddess of marriage, family, protection. I don't know if it's technically okay to do this, but like I've never been struck down and my horse has never been stolen, so I think it's pretty good.
It's quite smart.
As you see, again, the statue of this woman is very serene in this world, and like before too long, all the horses are tied around her outstretched arms.
Hey, August.
Mm-hmm.
So Adora had a bit of a vision while he was breaking the sword of every
Yes.
single She-Ra that's existed.
Yes.
I want to make a history check.
Go ahead. Yeah. see if Frigg is.
that
I
would
want
be
to
That's
see
a
if Frigg
fun.
is one of the She-Ras.
That would be interesting. I like
That's
that.
20!
That's 20. I will
That's
give you
awesome.
this because that is true. You did. That's lore canon.
Lore!
Here's what's
I
really
love
fun.
that.
Looking at Frigg, you have that like, I don't want to say hope or expectation of like, well, this is a powerful woman of lore. You don't remember Frigg's face. On a nat 20, it's definitely that like, whatever like entity Frigg is, it's definitely that like, well, she's not a She-Ra, which could have been good or bad, but you definitely, I think on a nat 20, it's that level of like, this is a powerful being, right? Like, you've never really had gods in Eternia, and so it's that like, dang, I mean, if she's got magic and family and sorcery, like, that's a cool one. Like, it
I'm
very
gonna
much
take 3
is.
gold and put it in the offering tray.
Yeah, for sure. You place 3 gold in the offering tray. As Jorgen kind of smiles, seeing that, as ties up, kind of pushes up and goes, Helga, we're here. I've brought some friends. And you see a woman come out, dark raven hair braided down, very much like a much shorter, stouter woman who actually you notice is definitely smaller than average humans might be. Definitely still human size range, but you might have some different characteristics to race there. You see though, this woman Helga just like, right, welcome. How long this stay, Jorgen? He's like, oh, I forgot to ask. How long do you think you're going to be here?
Only as long as it takes to complete our business.
Alright, well, go ahead. Let's say a couple days, we'll get some food ready for you immediately. And you see Helga just like, right, any dietary restrictions? Anything you need?
I'm fine with anything, thanks.
Alright, well, pickled herring and berries for you, the lot, as she gets ready to kind of provide some of this more Scandinavian meal.
Nice.
Jorgen sits you down. Indeed, after moments, people are coming in offering different barrels of food, wine, drink. And you notice that Jorgen isn't paying them, you're noticing, but he is putting some sort of token in their hands.
Oh, cool.
As eventually he kind of notices you looking just like, right, a chieftain's token, a lord's token, it's something I need to do for them in a manner of speaking. We still take gold if you're interested in like bartering with people, but it's something I do so that I'm never indebted to the city, nor can I abscond with a bunch of wealth like a nasty prick. He erupts into this Scandinavian
this
dialect,
dude.
just cursing out Captain. You can tell he cared about his cousin and didn't like this dude at all. After some time though, all of you are sitting with some drink, and Jorgen will answer the questions posed by Valka. A, how much do you know about the standing stones you were sent, right? This idea to come check these out. And B, the Jotnar that now exist in the mountains. You see, he's going to start with
Because
this.
that's mostly more for like, have they been having trouble with them? 'Cause
He's going
they're
to
out
start
here.
with the stones. It says, right, now, you're talking about the stones. We don't really advertise them. My brother, excuse me, my cousin, if he told you, I trust you enough that you may know the name. They're known as the Stones of Frigg, right? They're a sacred place that we set up in honor of her magic and sorcery. That any one of us, once we reach the age of maturity, as decided upon by your guardians or parents, and you go off. It's a bit of an ordeal. Everything in the stones, they're a bit of monsters in your mind. You see things, you fight things. It's never real, but I did have a friend once who swore he got a scar on his arm from the stones. I think it just fell. It's hard to tell what's real in there. But if you overcome the challenges facing you, you unlock a bit more of magic, a bit more of understanding of oneself. If what you say about something being hidden in these stones, it would make sense. You can't just go in and find something crazy. You're more looking at a place that, like, you've got to be willing to go in. I mean, dark things, let alone, won't go in, let alone the animals, let alone plants. You can definitely tell it's freaky, right? Nothing grows past the stone's point. Name, sorry.
Sorry, Adora.
Adora, right. I'm going to learn these.
Okay.
Adora.
Have any mer people come up to this town in the past 6 months?
Mer people.
People of the sea.
Oh, Fisk!
Fisk, yes.
Fisk. He's going to make a history check.
Oh, you wondering if they saw Radis?
If they saw Radis come up here and be like, "Nyah!" and throw like a shard into them.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well,
I
you
mean,
see,
you probably would have had to actually go.
I
on
know,
a
I'm just
3, you
being
see,
silly.
we haven't had too much Fisk here. Usually they're coming in the summer months, when it's warmer. We're far enough away from the ocean. They don't really like coming up.
I
I
think
can't
she's...
say.
Can I have told him about the person that hid, that so-called hid this
So Rudis
artifact?
the Fisk priest.
Well, I was gonna say, I think she's hitting on the good train of question. Can we make a check based on what he told us about, like, this isn't common knowledge or anything, and it seems like, very
This
kind of
would
guarded by
be-
their society. Could we make a check to be like, do we think Radis would have even known about the standing stones?
Yeah. Make a
That's a
group
good idea.
insight check. A group insight of, if these are the Stones of Frigg, the name took you having to get here
21.
with letters. 21 insight from Minareth.
9.
9-4. All right. Valka.
10.
10. Adora.
9.
There we go.
Gingy.
Gingy. 10.
If Gingy blessed us all, would that give us something
that
to get?
help?
Well, here's the thing.
No,
Because spell slots are limited right now, Gingy, would you like to give a group bless to try to maybe push some people to a
Honestly,
higher
I don't
number?
think it would even be worth it, because that would, like, we could end up with just like a 10 and 11 over here, which probably wouldn't be
Yeah.
helpful.
If that is the case,
I can do more.
give a bless.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, for sure. And Gingy, you can include yourself because it really just needs Adora, Gingy, and Valka. You guys are the
I
ones
got
that
a 25 now.
25. Yeah. So
I have a 14 now. I rolled the perfect
Ooh.
4.
so 14. Adora, go ahead and roll that d4.
Yep.
Shin, you can roll yours as well because definitely getting above a 4 would be helpful, so to speak.
Oh, so that will be 13.
So 13,
That's
14 now. 12 from Gingy. Okay, so 12, 13, 14 is much better. 25 from Minareth. And Shen, total of 6. I think for Shen, it's not like in any way a dumbfounded moment, but I think Shen, it's, well, don't rule out anything. If this man is a powerful priest of the Fisk, who's to say he didn't hear about this or study this or have that magical intuition go here? For Adora, Minareth, Valka, Gingy, there is that level of, for sure, it would be wild for him to choose here, but maybe that could be the point of this is a mountainous area, like, it's far away, it's taking so much, and I mean, maybe he didn't know about the Jotun, so to speak, but there definitely is that level of protection because of the giants that exist here now.
I have a question then for our host. It's kind of an off question, but have you seen any Pegasus-like beasts in the area?
What's
Flying horse.
Oh right, are you talking like a Valkyrie flying horse or?
Horse flying on its own.
Well, yeah,
Has
it's.
a horn. Basically, it's one of my steeds, and apparently he's trapped somewhere here.
Are you
and
a Valkyrie? You've got a.
Not of your
No.
faith.
Oh, you just
I
got a
suppose.
flying
A
horse.
warrior, a celestial warrior, but not of your gods.
But you have a flying horse.
Yes.
You have a magical sword that.
Yes.
He thinks you're a Valkyrie.
If you got a magic flying horse and you got a magic sword and
And
you're a
can
celestial
lesser
warrior,
restore people, and I can create light.
I
out of
love
hand.
the fact that she straight up ticks all the boxes for a
So-
Valkyrie.
of Valkyrie.
It's like I don't want to take that label because that's
I
not
Valkyrie.
feel like this is appropriation.
She's like a
Feels like
Valkyrie of a
appropriation.
different god.
Right. No, I get it. It's just odd, isn't it? Right. So, listen here. I haven't heard of magic horses. I apologize. I haven't seen a Fisk recently. And indeed, I think for Minrith at 25, you're starting to definitely pick that vibe of, yeah, maybe this really is that, like, why would he come here? But you see, he goes, but that could be, again, we've got a bit of a problem. The storms have been getting worse. Some of our outlying taverns and towns have had to come here. I mean, it's not uncommon in the winter months to have to shore up in the haven for, food supplies for the winter, but the reports coming in that I sent off to my cousin, people say monsters. They found entire tracts of land crushed and ripped apart. They found their cities were destroyed in an instant. It's taken a toll on our civilians up here. I haven't wanted to cause panic, so I personally have gone off and I saw, like you say, off in the mountains the head of a beast walking higher than the mountains themselves. One of the Jotnar. Now I don't know why they're here. I mean, Odin's beard, the last time they were here, Odin himself was killing them. So, like, why are they here now? But
Adora starts to sweat, remembering how she pulled out her eye at the pool.
I will say, because that's also, it doesn't help that you're missing an eye,
Well,
Adora.
it doesn't help that,
You're
like,
checking so many boxes for these
and
people.
like, it's like, yeah, and I gave out my eye at Odin's temple, and
Yeah, but you see, Jorgen is kind of taking this moment of just, what do you know about a Jotun specifically? How much knowledge do you all have?
she seems to know the most.
Right.
I didn't know about the name.
Are you from the north? You know
I'm
the.
from back.
Oh. Great. Well, you give us a bad name. You're going around stabbing people and stealing shit. It's not nice.
It wasn't like that the last time I was home.
Oh, right, benefit of the doubt. But, okay, so, the Jotnar just showing up like this. It's dark, and I can't tell the people that a bunch of giants are smushing things. That would kill more. People would freak out. They'd try to escape. They'd try to rush off. Let alone the fact it's winter. It's safer really right now, the haven. But, I mean, we're so close, actually, because you would know, this is the second day of the second month. We're in this late winter. Eventually, the defrosting's going to start occurring, and people will need to start heading back to their real homes. Well, I can't say what's going to happen then. I couldn't tell you why they're here. I couldn't tell you what they're doing. They just seem to be here, causing these storms, everything. I mean, it makes sense. If you're sent by the Queen, you must be powerful. Most people, we might get their steeds coming in, not them.
By our count, there were about 12 of them.
I think so.
Counts?
Oh, so we came across one. I killed it. We found out that was a bad idea because then they're like, "Who killed my brethren?" And then our cookie over here, who's a cleric,
Jorgen's
brought him back
face
to life.
has
Brought him back to
become
life.
grave. You killed one.
I didn't know. It
Did
was hurting my
any
friends.
of your blades touch it?
Adora points to the sword on her back in a very shaky hand.
Oh, frick, it
Do
smells
I
like
need
the
to
Jotun.
leave? Tell me no warrior's code. Do I need to leave right now?
I can ask you to leave.
Then as a
But
chieftain, do
we
you
are in
need to order
a
me?
dark place. There's nowhere to run now. Jotun blood is powerful magic. It
Yeah, I'm guessing
smells
prestidigitation
only to a
isn't good
Jotun
enough.
blood. All of you know, again, the second he was bloodied
My
and bleeding on
21
the ground.
history didn't give me this.
It didn't actually.
Boo.
Because, I mean, you have to have fought one or really know the law. Again, Jurgen only knows that he is the chief, he has studied. And again, he has spent the last couple months throughout the winter studying these
That
things.
would have been a
Dang,
very different
he-
stage
so
of
it's
life.
not
He made it so
knowledge.
obvious to us though
Yay.
because the Jotun was going by smell.
They were
We
going by
should've caught
smell.
this.
Again, after he died, that's when Gingy started here. So
Can
again,
we do a quick calculation based on like what we saw of them earlier for how much longer do we think it'll take them to get here?
here's what I will say for sure. Anyone who wants to can make me a survival check of based on our location, based on where we came from, what's going on.
18. Also, would prestidigitation do anything to clean the sword well enough that
20.
it
Is
could
this
mask
still
the
within the
smell?
minute for
If I do a
bless?
lesser restoration.
This isn't a minute for blood. Yeah, I'm allowing Gingy's bless.
Oh,
We're in a
if
role
I-
play
if
moment.
I-
I'm not hard pressed to be like, no,
Lesser
it's done.
restoration my sword. Could that get rid of it?
It's a marked blade now.
19.
It is now. It doesn't have yet the Giant Slayer fun properties. I mean, maybe one day, but it is that level of once it's killed a Jotun, they take it personally. So here we go. We'll go around. Shen, what did you get?
13.
13. Okay. Gingy, what did you get? 10. All right.
19.
19. Adora,
Dirty 20.
dirty 20.
21.
21. You guys did get well enough above as a group. Here's what you would notice. Gingy heard the rumblings. Gingy, of course, very much thinking of like trying to gauge where the voices were coming from, where everything happened. Whatever happened, whatever these creatures were doing, they were what we could consider miles off. That's also what makes it terrifying, is they weren't like next to you guys. They were miles away. But they didn't get close at any point during your travels. Gingy didn't hear anything. All of you are thinking through. You were not being quote-unquote tracked, you assume, while you were traveling. The only real problem you had was the storm. I think based on the earlier Valka's checks, the nat 20s from Manor, some of the stuff, the Jotun definitely were probably, though, using the magic to either kill you or slow you down or maybe even track you.
Okay.
In that sense, based on where they could be, gauging a giant's footsteps by nightfall, being right now only maybe 11 a.m. Again, you guys got that early start to try to push through, but by nightfall, what we could assume in 8 hours, you could have 12 Jotun the size of the Haven at the literal gate.
At Baldr's
At Baldur's Gate. Listen, they're the arms of Baldur. They're not a gate. They're technically a gate.
I'm sorry.
Ah, man. You have so many great ideas when you're making campaigns. And then
I thought it was
Baldur's
a great
Gate
idea.
3
It
gets
was a
announced and
great
released. And I'm
idea.
like, of course. It's such a fun sequel. So, all of you would know this. And again, Jurgen's not mad, but definitely that grave. This
He's like,
is...
you have doomed us all.
This is like a really bad. It's one thing to antagonize you, slew one. Yes, of course, he understands Gingy, spared the dying, but it's still that level of like, oh no. I will actually say, Gingy spared the dying is probably why you have yet to have been completely attacked.
Good job, Gingy.
Thank you, Gingy. You staved off an encounter. As Jurgen looks at you all, you say there was a dozen. And you guys can convey the time frames. We don't have much to go on then. As far as I understand. I tell you this in confidence. Normally, Baldur's Haven is not supposed to be a dead end. We're druids, for Thor's sake. We have magics, but don't mean to alarm you. Our teleportations have not been working. Our circles of summoning, we can barely perform cantrips in them right now. They're not great. We can't get the people out fast. Especially not in kind of like jerks his hand towards that storm, which is definitely their prelude to war.
What if I just take them
August.
out?
You're funny! Oi! You could take out maybe 1. 12? 12? That's the auspicious number. That's for the 12 Aesir. I need. Let's plan. All right. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but let's talk this through. Like, we got 12 Jotun.
Do you have oil?
Yeah. No, we got oils.
We'll need more traps than just one, but if we can put enough oil out there and I can light it when they get here. And I don't know how to explain. I don't want to just have to explain my whole shtick to Jorgen right now.
Here's my
but
character
you
sheet.
As the DM, I'm thinking again. I love this draconic transformation with the breath weapon of fire, and I'm like, hey, if we can just like, again, splatter oil everywhere, get them into it, and then I just light them up with my breath weapon. Does that make
Right.
sense? As
That
like
could
one
be a
possible
good
trap.
start.
He'll kind of give you the brief in that map. In the map idea setting, there's about 120 feet from where Baldur's Haven truly begins, and the gate, I should say, and before the storm. It's what Shen noticed. There is that cutoff point of once the storm is that swirling maelstrom, but there is about 120 feet of that. They could use up all their oil reserves. Again, it do or die though, and
Yeah, that's
make
fair.
an oil field to be light on fire. And he could have other archers at the rate, because you could not light it all at once. But again, I should say, it's actually kind of a nice square. It's about a 120 by 120 square. Again, it's a 120 gap into Baldur's Gate. That Baldur's Haven, Haven. That then extends. So a 120 by 120 area of oil, Valka, that could be lit on fire would definitely help. Again, these giants take up a good, for lack of a better term, almost 80 feet on their own. They are very much here. I'll do the quick maths. 30. Oh, excuse me. Clarification. One Jotun can only be coming into Baldur's Haven at a time.
That's good to know.
They are that big.
Is.
I kind of forgot that. I'm like, wait a second, that doesn't make sense.
So either way, it will be that kind of single file. We're
There's
only
a choke
fighting one
point.
at a time.
Well, unless they can either break
And that's
Baldur's arms, the Great Snow Gates, in which case they can just start pushing in. And of course, once one gets in, they can quickly spread off into the rest of the city. There
But there
is
is a choke.
enough
But
of
we
a
have
choke.
a bottleneck there.
Yeah.
You've got a bottleneck that you can light on fire, making it a quote-unquote difficult terrain plus fire damage
Plus fire damage.
area. Jurgen, of course, will ask for assistance. Mostly, he says, his people, the druids and everyone here, he's going to try to hide away in some of the deeper cellars. He
That would've
doesn't
been my
think...
suggestion. To hide
Yeah.
He
people.
is like, yeah, we have magic. He's like, these people are not soldiers. They're not fighters. Shen, yeah.
So if we're really only here for the druidic stones, are those inside the city? Like, could we go in quickly and just be in and out, and maybe lead the others away from Baldur's Haven?
Oh.
I see that. Yes, the Stones of Frigg are not in Baldur's Haven. They are, as far as he could tell you, again, he can't give you big specifics, it's part of the journey, it's a very
Right.
religious thing. It's about 2 miles north of here, give or take.
And my worry either way, because I kind of thought about that, but my worry was like, if we leave, are they going to come here anyway? Because obviously we were here at one
Oh,
point.
so they might just be following our trail, and yeah.
Because again,
It's-
the whole thing, it's that like tracking the where has this sword been
Yep.
in a linear, like we gotta, yeah.
That is very true. But yes, it's a 120 by 120 area. you really can only have one Jotun in at a time. But again, once a Jotun is passed, they can spread out, and the others on the outside can try attacking the arms of Baldr.
Yeah.
Other ideas that, again, I'm kind of role-playing just as Jurgen, just to give you the very basics of, like, yes, no's, passive
Yeah, that's
history,
fair.
stuff like that.
Is there any way that we could spread the smell to a wider area so then it slows down how many Jotun are coming to the city? Because then if we can have one come to the city like every minute rather than 3 every minute, then it's more likely for us to be able to keep that chokehold. So if
Smart.
we can lay a false trail and just confuse them with there's a smell of Jotun blood, Jotunair blood all over the area, then
Yeah.
they might slow down.
Here's the give and take. You could spread it. Spreading it would require Adora to not be anywhere near Baldur's Haven. Then. That would require the idea of Adora
running out
would
right
need to
now.
be, I mean, especially in a giant's
Or,
perspective,
hear
a
me
good
out.
half a mile to a mile outside around the city in different places to try to really spread it. So
is
it's
it Adora or is it her sword?
it.
Could we tie her sword to like a horse's saddle and just send it off into the wilderness and have Adora just grab a spare weapon and stay here with us?
I would say, Valka, give me an insight check.
I don't have good insight.
You're
Well,
like,
because it is
"Wait."
that tough. Like, what's the extent of this weird magic tracking? Is
Yeah,
it
that's
just
an
a
8.
weapon? An 8.
Can I,
That's. I want to say it's a choice, but you would have to find out. It's
insight?
insight.
Can I make one too?
I'd,
action?
I'd say help action
I
would
will
be the
say
way
right
I'd allow
now, it's not a good idea to send Adora out into that
Yeah,
sword
I rolled
all
the
by
exact
herself.
same.
it. Exact same. It's such a gamble.
I don't
It's-
like that idea.
You could have a smart. Oh,
Yeah,
we
no.
just have to send the sword, but if not, then Adora's not having a nice magical +1 weapon, right? It's kind of like what Shen and you guys were realizing too about the ideas of like, do we go for the stones? Do we go for stuff? There's a lot of gamble right now, and they're not great odds in terms of what you might be able to try.
Can I make a religion check?
For what exactly?
It sounds dumb, but you know how it's kind of able to ping where Swiftwind is because of the lowered amount of magic in this world? Could I try to ping if there is any form of the sword within a couple miles?
Oh
I'm
yeah.
trying to pinpoint where the trial is, so that then we could lead this battle away from it, take care of that.
Trying to make a
Stop-
religion check.
yeah.
I'm gonna say it's not gonna be religion.
That
I
would
think it's
survive.
Arcana. The idea of could I ping location
plus
the
1.
sword shard to get that vibes. What'd you get?
17!
Okay.
Adora spoke of pinging and it gave me an idea. Are there any dragons within 10 miles?
Within 10 miles, no.
Dang it.
Yeah.
Dang,
Because
I
I was
figured
like,
where
oh,
you
if
were
we
going.
could find a way to attract dragons to attack the Jotnar, like that
I will
would-
say, it's almost better. Let me put it that very
At least
simply.
it's not that three-way fight of they could have gotten it. But again, I was gonna ask you, like, with all my knowledge, if there was
Dragons
anything
and
that
giants don't
would
get
work.
along just because they are both big creatures that don't
Exactly.
like it. It's the
That
give and take
could've
of
been
they're not
interesting.
here, but they're
They
not
would have
here.
been helpful.
On a
That was an
17 Adora
interesting
Arcana,
idea. I admire
you're
that.
not getting any pings or any vibes from the sword. Now, to be fair, not to like dissuade it, it's not like you got any real pings when you had the sword either, but there is that level of like attunement, and so it's that very rough, like, well, it's not attunement kind of ping, but you're not getting a good geographical location.
This sounds dumb. Yeah, that's it.
Got it. Other
is-
ideas.
We're trying to come up with something.
Man,
You're good.
that's fine. What is the general terrain immediately outside the city?
Outside the city, you
And
are
I guess
looking at,
immediately would be like a mile.
in the immediate mile, what you know right now, difficult terrain. Heavy snowstorm, winds, ice, frost, hail.
What is the
It's-
physical terrain
Physical terrain
and
is
topography?
mountains. It is, if it was
Are
clear, you
we
would have.
at the base of some mountains or at the peak of some mountains, midway? Like
You were
what?
at the base, because again,
Top.
Baldur's Haven is nestled in between technically two mountains.
Okay.
Are you trying to think of like rock slide avalanche on the Jotnar, like Mulan?
Yes. Yes.
I can engineer some explosives.
He does have.
Frick.
I was waiting for
Yes.
him to
Shen's
bring that
got
up.
black powder.
But then is it okay
Yes.
if would the chieftain want his people to be snowed in rather than...
Here's the
But
thing.
again, we can rig it so that it avoids the city and just comes down like
Right.
around it.
I will say even Jurgen is willing, like, kill a bunch of Jotnar and save our people, and the cost is we're kind of snowed in for a couple extra months. That's no
We're good.
choice in his mind.
Yeah.
Like, he is okay. You don't have to worry about, I don't want to
Yeah.
say worry about safety, but it's not like, if it means going right on top, like, avalanche, rock slide, bury
Yep.
them, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's no choice at that point.
Mhm.
I'm so glad
I
you
think
said
then
that.
the plan is to defend an avalanche
Defend an avalanche. Okay.
and a couple of traps, like...
Yeah. So my only other thought: are there like trees nearby?
Enough.
Winter forest fire.
Well, no. My thought was that like this is gonna sound so dumb, but that idea of like sharpening the tops of the trees so they're like giant stakes, and then like the Jotnar will just like step
Oh.
on them and like hurt their feet.
Actually.
Ultimate
Like-
Legos.
Yeah.
Big
Sam's
Legos.
Sam's campaign when we were joking about all the caltrops in the city defense.
Yeah.
Make a caltrop out of a
caltrops.
tree.
Out of a forest.
That's
Here's
a
what I will
good
say.
idea.
That's a really good idea.
Guys,
It
think about
might
getting it from somewhere.
take time. I would make that would be our
Inherited
box of
intelligence.
doom roll because it's the level of Velka.
Preparations.
You have to be getting ready for the oil track. Shen, you've definitely got to be at least one of the people up the mountain getting ready to spark an avalanche, for lack of a better term. What I would say is, for both of your traps, we're going to call them traps for this general idea, you're going to need at least one other PC with you to make it a passive success for either piece.
I have an idea. I could be helpful to Valka's group because I do have Firebolt as a cantrip, so that
Right.
could be helpful.
Helpful.
I also was thinking that I could be helpful to Shen's group because I wonder if we could just make. Wait, I have prestidigitation, not thaumaturgy.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking thaumaturgy could make a very, very, very loud sound, which could help set off or quicken the
Pyrotechnics
avalanche.
and sonics.
Yes. Well, the problem is I don't have thaumaturgy,
You don't have
which I
thaumaturgy.
thought I did. And I was gonna say I have featherfall, so then if you can fly, and I have featherfall negating basically the weight, then maybe you could help us not die if we fall.
Yeah.
If I can somehow get to the top of a Jotun's head, per se, could I blind them using my light cantrip right in their eyes?
It would probably take a stamina point.
That makes sense.
But yes, and it wouldn't be a true blindness just because there are spells that spells and attacks that can cause true blindness. It's a stamina point cantrip could probably blind them for a good round or two, but it's not a permanent thing.
Right, okay.
So I would say is because Minarth, you're pretty solid in any place you need. Is there anyone that would like volunteer for any bigger specific one of these traps?
I will, but I'd have... I would need to figure out a way to get hit points back, because I'm an idiot.
I will allow you to.
Short
You
rest?
anyone who wants to can be short resting while you plan today. Again, you've got the short rest time as you plan with Jurgen to say like, okay, what are we doing? What are we planning? How fast do we need oil barrels and sharp
I'm dumb,
spikes?
but you played a sorcerer before, so you might know the answer.
Yeah, no, what do you need?
D6.
What is? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's a d6.
Yeah, Raya having just come from D6.
Exactly. I'm like, you would know.
Oh, it didn't...
Ooh, I
It
got a
didn't
6
heal
for my
me.
first one.
Well, you roll it and then you
Just add
manually add it. Yeah.
I was like,
I didn't see it then.
I was like, hey, I'll take a risk. Only reroll the one hit die. I rolled the perfect 10 and got all my hit points
That
back.
rocks.
This is relevant abilities have been reset. And then my hit points don't change.
if you want to, you can still manually roll.
I
the
only
dice.
needed to use 2 hit dice. That's
Solid.
awesome.
So, and just to clarify, so Minrith, would you like to go with Shen up the mountain just for that? Like, you do have Featherfall when things start sliding.
I am happy either way. So if either of you would prefer, like, that's fine. If nothing else, I'm sure that there is a frickin' battle horn somewhere in this city.
It's true.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, let's be real.
11
These
points.
are Nords. They've got stuff. It's got hit points back. Okay, everyone's
Could
healing.
I use all of my hit dice, please?
Yeah. Oh yeah, like that's just your choice. Like, I hope I never as DM go, no, you can only heal up just a little bit.
Oh, it does
Two more
roll your
hits
hit
back.
dice, but oh well, I already rolled my hit dice and I didn't realize that it would roll
You're good.
automatically.
You're totally fine.
7 plus 2 is 9. I heal 9 more hit points.
Do you
Yay!
need another hit die?
Well, no, you rolled a 9 and then a 7. Oh no, I see what you're rolling.
I
Okay,
add the plus 2, because then it's for both
Yeah.
tens.
I see. So,
I'm at
Is
28
it a
out of 32,
specific
so I should be
note
fine.
that helps cause avalanches or anything? I know that it's like a high C or something for glass to break.
but we're talking frequency of a structure versus
Right.
Maybe
overall frequency if we're talking decibels.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's a
Yeah,
specific-
avalanches aren't technically note attuned as far as I guess science would tell us.
That's good.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
cool.
really?
We have
Yes.
a physicist.
Yeah, so I literally study.
Yeah, I just realized
we forgot
I
that he's a
should have
scientist.
asked you.
Yeah, so there would be a mix between frequency and your sound level as well, but there's not going to be like these specific frequencies would be low. Any low frequency waves have kind of a larger resonance into
I
the
see.
sound. We're going to allow
So a
it to-
battle horn doing typically lower tones is preferable.
Yeah, in which case that an explosion that would both kind of break up at the top
Right.
and have low frequencies come out. That would
Sounds
be
good.
good.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, Gingy and Adora, for you two, which group would you like to go with? Would you like to be top of the mountain party or bottom of the mountain party?
Oh, sorry.
I can help with the trees, so I'll be bottom of the mountain party.
No, you're good, Gingy. It was just that, so Adora definitely says she'll stay at the bottom with, like, the trees and oil part. Gingy, would you rather be down below helping with, like, the setting of the traps on the ground, or would you like to go with Shen? It sounds like Minrith up higher for the top of the mountain, starting an avalanche.
I'll stay low.
Stay low? Gotcha. So Gingy, Adora, and Valka, you guys will stick low. Minrith and Shen, you're going high. Here's where I am going to roll in the box of doom for the sharpening. Because really, the big thing you guys can accomplish is
I thought it was a good idea.
the
That's
oil
amazing.
is the solid one.
Yeah.
Because that one, like, they've got oils, they've got stuff. Again, for the winter, they're fine wasting it. I shouldn't say wasting, burning it off to stop an attack.
Yep.
Here we go.
You are just so clever, Megan.
So I know the other 4 of us are doing like oil and avalanche and stuff, but because Adora specifically said trees, is this adding any sort of buff or help to this?
Not so much.
Okay.
For now, I should say.
Net bloody.
Okay.
Doing the thinking face. right?
I know.
It's a natural 13.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna decide something. I think I know how we're gonna rule this.
Interesting.
As Valka, Gingy, Adora helping roll out oil barons again. Minrith and Shen, you guys are basically immediately hiking up the mountain as fast as possible, getting ready again. Black powder magic, just storing all that. the thought then comes, of course, Val could do is sharpen the trees. It will, I say, work as a trap. You think it probably has a limited number of use. The fire field you're intending to make, in theory, could last until something takes multiple actions to put it out. The trees, on the other hand, being in the fire field, it's that they might not last indefinitely, because if they get stepped on, stabbed through the foot, or burn away,
Right.
then we're looking at something that's a bit finite. In which case, before we move to the final preps, the final rolls needed for the Jotnar attack, it's where we're going to take a brief break. Thank
Why do
you all
do
so
that
much.
to
We'll
us?
take a 5-minute break, and we'll come back in just a moment. welcome back one and all as we ready the attack of the Jotnar. We find ourselves in the position where I need us to roll initiative,
Yep.
even though we are yet into combat, because certain creatures are in initiative right now that aren't here.
Nope, that's fair.
I don't like that.
That's a nat 20 plus 4.
Oh my gosh. Minrith with a natural 20. 14 from Adora.
I got a rock.
And that one?
6.
So it's,
So much better.
I love that.
I felt like the most Charlie Brown right now.
Gingy and Shen, what did you guys get? 20 for Gingy. Yikes.
Someone in the way
9 for
today
Shen.
was talking to
All
my
right.
sister, I think, who's
Here we go.
I was
With a minus
Candy
1.
your baby Charlie. Everyone will think of Charlie Brown.
Oh,
Like,
Only
jeez.
if your name is Brown. Like, too many people are named Charlie.
her last name is not Brown. I can tell you that. I can't tell you her last name, but it was not Brown. So,
Minrith, you will be acting first. As you are all in your various positions. I'm going to send the initiative tracker as well as have it here. So we're going to
Actually,
copy
this is
this
the
before.
best version of the
So here we go. Let's quickly send
that heads the
to the moon campaign real quick.
Not Rapunzel.
There we go.
But it's
There
pretty
is the
good
initiative
shiny.
tracker for those to see, especially, Tazmeka at home. But of course, Minrith, you will be starting us off.
okay.
Gingy is going next. Adora, you bring up then middle, with then Shen and Valka finishing us off.
Okay.
I need to
Then
make a mark
I
three of this.
Suppose I'm going to be going as fast as I can up the mountain.
I will say, from where we're going to begin, you and Shen are at the point where it's time for the rolls
To start
and
setting
to
things.
start setting stuff
Okay.
off. Like, it's, even though you don't have Gingy with you, it's very obvious that the rumblings is
Yeah.
no longer thunder or footsteps. It's there.
Will it be a sleight of hand check to start placing the bomb material?
So, yes and no. Shen, of course, is flush with black powder, setting up these bombs. Minrith, you are in the rare ability of you can either give him the help action or hold an action for something different. I mean, because thankfully Featherfall's a reaction.
Yeah.
It's, you could choose to do something else of, you could make your own sleight of hand to, like, lower his DC. You could give a help action to offer advantage. You can make your own checks if you want to do other things while on top of the mountain. It's a very open position place to be right now.
So, I think the fireball could actually still be useful because then we can start off the bombs from some distance away, so we're not in danger. But that again, we can wait until we're up away from it. So I don't want to hold that to be ready. My thinking is that I only have a +4 to sleight of hand. I can either do my own to lower the DC, or I can give you the help action. But I don't know what your sleight of hand is.
Probably good for him.
So I have a +4 sleight of hand.
So it might be more helpful
Shen,
to
this
instead of
is,
lower the DC.
you also, it's your dexterity and proficiency, because this is with firearms.
Oh.
+6 then.
Yeah, it should be, I'm like, it is a +8. You get a much better score there. I'm like, it's not a
That's
+4.
better. So then, would it be better to potentially try and lower the DC? I don't know how high I'd have to roll with that, or to just give you the help action.
Statistically, the advantage you can do the equivalent of +5.
Okay, then I would rather give you the help action.
Yeah. Gotta love statistics in a role-playing game.
You gotta love someone who knows.
But no,
statistics.
it's-
Gotta love playing with the
I mean,
math.
no, yeah, I mean, like, let's be real. The math checks out.
Okay, I'm happy to just keep on giving the help action until.
Till let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Minrith, you are running out. And indeed, it's Shen will be throwing you bags of powder, placing them in the snow, packing them in a way that it's not just going to blow fluff, it's blowing substance, finding like setting up a avalanche.
Okay.
that brings us next to Gingy's turn. Gingy on the ground. The oil has been spread, the trees are stakes, and Gingy, you hear the subtle boom, 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 boom as footsteps become raucous thunder. It's interesting, Gingy, at first you're wondering, is it only one? Because you're not hearing multiple footsteps. Instead, they are marching.
Crap.
To war, to battle. Gingy, before much else happens, you hear the footsteps hard stop as in the distance you hear, hold. Gingy, you will hear this, no one else. I am Farbauti, father of the god Loki,
I thought he was supposed to be a fire giant.
king of the Jotun.
That's so good.
We come seeking that which dared slay our brethren. Release them to us,
I could wait.
and we will let half of you live.
Oh! Oh!
Well, I'm ready to kill some people today.
Because they'll say, Gingy, you're just like quick translating for your friends.
Yeah, I'll let them know what they said, and then can I make like an insight or history to see like
Sorry, I'm looking at the gun.
did the dying work?
Wait, you want to know the dying words of the giant you killed and then spared?
Well, I did the spare did myself work, and like they were supposed to find him alive.
I see what you're saying.
Want to like understand?
Yes, please give me a insight check if you'd be so kind.
Or are they using it as a ploy for war?
I'll give you this, Gingy. I left him alive. What went wrong? Off in the distance, past the tree-line shadow of the large, imposing figures now standing less than a mile away, Gingy, for a moment your eyes catch something small in the tree line, and the body of Kasich Kepson steps out,
Oh, frick.
does a wave, and disappears.
Can I make a quick mythology check real fast?
On your turn.
Okay.
So Gingy, that free check is, but we did leave him alive. Oh, someone came along
And frickin' killed him.
and killed him.
That
Oh,
sucks.
but then his blades are also sticky.
Unless you didn't do
That's
it with
true.
blades.
Unless didn't do it with blades, and again, you're talking to
He could have used
a
magic.
possessed man who has magic and could be
Exactly.
like far, far away from here, right? Like it's that yeah, it was, but like the quicker person's here. That sounds really bad. I'm like the easy target in Adora is right inside.
When you all see Gingy start like gleaming red and then turn black like and burning.
Just want to confirm.
I love that.
These guys are bad guys, yeah?
Yeah.
So
Go
Gingy,
for it,
you burn a little
Oh,
burnt
honestly.
gingerbread man, black cookie right
Go
there.
kill them all. Isadora kind of steps out and like is
It's Gingy's turn. Sorry. What was that, Gingy? Sorry, that last half.
I'm so angry.
You're sorry. I kept him alive.
Pitch kinda sucks.
So I'm gonna relate to my party. Alright, I tried to save the giant, but Pitch killed him. So how do we turn the giants on Pitch?
How do we turn the giants on pitch?
I mean, you're the one who speaks giant. I say if you want to try and persuade them, go for it. But like, I'm not holding out hope. I think we're gonna have to fight him.
I can give advantage because I have proficiency in persuasion.
We are an initiative, though. I'm gonna be a stickler for that.
So unless you want
So,
to...
Gingy, you could take a true action, a true persuasion check to try and convince them.
These are these like giant giants, so I'm like yay big to them, right?
But
Yeah.
you speak their language.
I would almost say it's, Gingy, you speak the language, and if you have someone verbatim say what you're saying, it's that level of, like, you're the one making the check, but you could have Adora or Valka or Jurgen or someone yell this for you.
So you can be able to hear me. I want to try it.
Yeah.
And if we don't die.
Here we go. Go ahead.
Nat 20.
Persuasion check. Nat 20.
I still kind of want to fight him because it's not like we should just let them run around killing people.
No.
Is it a 1?
But do.
It's a nat 1. That will fail in a
That
way.
was a great idea, though.
It was a great idea. It could have really helped. As you say this, Gingy, and give him this big action, this declaration of, it's not peace, but it's, hey, wouldn't you rather have the person who really killed him? We tried. You hear, off in the distance, Farbauti proclaim, "We care not for the demon child. This is our honor, to kill you all. We seek your deaths to raise Emir, and your blood will provide the first of many sacrifices." Megan's
So
excited.
definitely bad people. No, I'm joking.
So,
That's so big!
that's very big, isn't it? Gingy, at the end of your turn, it is the Jotnar's turn. As you hear steps, boom,
Oh boy.
boom, 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 boom. Many steps becoming a charge, truly sounding like thunder breaking upon itself. The giants rush the mountain. We now truly are in initiative as the first giant stoops to enter Baldur's Haven through the arms. Held actions from
Light 'em up.
Valka. Adora, you could totally have a bow with a flaming arrow, a flaming gumdrop from Gingy. All of the archers, Jurgen as well, shoo, 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 as lighting in a patchwork of fire, the flame field erupts, and the first Jotun to step roars in pain.
Is
I
that
have
a
to
leader by any
roll.
chance?
In fact, it's not.
That's stupid.
It's, yeah, oh darn, it's not the big one.
The big one? He's actually bigger than the rest?
The big one. This is 120 feet of fire, squared of almost 1,440. So that's going to be equal to a combined total, because this is a colossal creature that can touch it all. It's going to be 20d8 of fire damage. You hate to see it.
Yep.
For me.
I like seeing them in
The first
because that
Jotun
means we've got
immediately is bloody. Now, I will say this is also because he was surprised by it. He didn't get to make his save to have it. Immediately bloodied, and you will get to know his trait Fire Fear has enacted. Because he has taken enough fire damage, he has disadvantage on attacks. Or, excuse me, not disadvantage. He has to roll to attack for his turns.
Oh, that's
Instead of like, this area, I hit. It's now a level of, I've gotta actually try it.
That
Just to make
is
sure I'm
good.
correct with my character sheet, did that count as one of my breath weapon charges?
That did. Because otherwise it will not. Sorry. And of course, on the mini-map, I will eventually move to show you guys kind of where you're looking at. You're on one side. Again, you guys are on, there's 120 feet coming toward you.
Right.
This guy is coming in, and it is erupted in fire. I'm going to just make a giant measurement circle so you kind of get the idea.
August, did you come up with that idea for Fire Fear?
I did.
That's such a
I like
clever
Fire
thing.
Fear. It's pretty fun. So here we go. Fire has erupted. Again, this isn't even nearly as much of the space as it could be, but that's the big one. And you should point out the blue hand is going to help denote the range of their attacks. Basically, that like for this guy, of course, he'll still have to roll, but it's knowing if you're in the handprints. That's kind of where the attacks go. Again, telegraphed attacks.
I see. That's a really good.
Making his attack, he was still coming in. I actually think I'll put you guys a little bit closer, not to be mean, but of course, his attacks are coming in. He has to attack here and here. So here we go. One attack. Actually, we're gonna move. So here's his radius right now as both of his attacks. He is slamming down his hands at you guys. That's the area for our friends over here. You know, I'm actually going to center the battlefield a little bit for us right now. Let's move you guys centered about there so you can tell. Again, past the giant all flame. We don't need to technically mark that. That is his choreographed attack. Next turn, it's coming down. So everyone's got this round, of course, to move or do stuff. That brings us now to Adora's turn.
Great. Going after it. What person does Gingy want to be on before I start?
Oh, yes, before we start moving. Gingy, Adora or Valka? Valka. Alright. That has kind of been the go-to. It's buddies. Adora.
Well, I'm going to use my movement to kind of go at a diagonal. Because if its
5,
hands
10,
are coming down like this,
15, 20.
that means his neck is ripe for the slicing, isn't it?
It's, yes, again, to attack, they do
Right.
make themselves open to attacks.
Excellent.
So your movement can definitely get you down there.
Into where his neck would be, not to where his
Oh,
shoulders.
I see. So
Yeah.
taking like your 30 here,
To then...
yes, you are ready to strike the neck the second it's down. So it's his attack will go up, but you're holding an attack to, as he
Slice his
attacks,
throat.
I can
That's
now
what
attack
I-
him. I like it.
That's
Adora,
super
at the end
clever.
of your turn.
Yeah.
Gotta make a roll.
Uh-huh.
It's a nat one.
Uh-huh.
Good or
Is that
bad?
good for us or bad for us?
Moving to Shen. Shen, you and Minareth are up, high up, as far as you can go. Shen, would you like to trigger the avalanche now? Because you would know, again, it's not hard. You guys can see the giants rushing in. One of them has just passed underneath the arms. The rest are getting ready on the side. You can tell they're getting ready to start smashing open the mountainside arms to try to, like, open up the gap.
In that case, I think I'd like to hold on, just wait until more are in the area.
Yeah.
Smart. Again, it's that subtle, since they do at work every other round, waiting until they're really here. I like it. In which case,
Yeah, I
yes.
just like to hold an action to do that.
Yep. Easy stuff. Shen, as you hold your action, Minareth holding that help, again, waiting. Valka, that's you.
Okay, so if I were to go like forward to get out of range, kind of, would I end up taking fire damage if I go that way?
I will be very nice and say, you're good.
Okay.
It's basically a level of difficult terrain that a giant just can't really avoid because of its size. It's enough there's pockets of oil. It's not,
Right.
there are divots. Again, the ground is not perfectly level or perfectly bold, right? There's pockets, so.
I were to go, say, 20 feet, just like straight forward,
20 feet gets you out of
out of range.
the range. Yep, barely.
And then, so here's my then clever held action. Can I use my second fire breath attack to go like straight in his eyes and just like use a stamina point to just like burn his eyes completely
Yeah.
blind and like
Stamina point,
That'd
breath
be
weapon,
awesome.
max damage, blind him. I like it.
Get him.
I think that's clever, Valka.
all right.
at the top of the order once more.
Oh, can I also take a bonus action?
Oh, yes, he says. Yeah, you gotta say it before I...
Yeah, I forgot.
You're good.
Yeah, I completely forgot I was gonna do this. I want to bonus action Celestial Revelation. So, I mean, this I guess he also has to make a charisma saving throw.
He's gonna make a charisma save. Let me check. There's the Jotnar. He fails. Hardcore.
Alright.
With a minus
so
one.
He's actually now frightened of me until the end of my next turn.
And that will take effect on his next turn.
Yeah.
Because they snow.
So this turn, nothing. But
Okay.
eventually the frightened condition will hit.
And so, is this the thing where it's like already because of what happened, he has to roll, and so is the frightened giving him that disadvantage on that roll?
Exactly.
That's fun.
Because technically it's not offering him disadvantage, it's just you now have to roll. And now it's a true disadvantage. But again,
They're the
it'll
two
probably happen after
separate
his
effects.
first attack because, again, spells take a bit longer to
Right.
affect him.
That is super cool.
So, Valka is holding that. We're back up top. Minareth, you and Shen are holding your actions.
Yep. How many
That
giants
brings us
are we
to-
waiting to get in?
Because right now you'd probably hit a solid 2. But again, the longer you wait, the more they'll start
How
getting closer.
many would be able to fit in the area that we're trying to set the avalanche off of?
I mean, if we're talking best case scenario, in theory, all of them. Like, if you get some crazy rolls and then the avalanche builds up, you could bury them all. But that's the problem of,
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
it might not get a big radius. Right now, it's that, like, you could for sure, like, whatever we set off would probably hit at least 2 of them, right? Like, it's that level of guesswork. And I think that's why, Shen, you were saying, like, held action, because you want more in that, like, for sure range to hit them.
And I'm really quick just looking through my spells because it sounds like it'll probably be at least another round or so before we set it up. I want to see if there's anything I can do prior to that.
Because, Gingy,
Not
you're on deck.
Really. Okay. Yeah. I'll just keep waiting.
It's held action. Again, it's rough when you're fighting giants with held actions. I kind of foresaw this and I'm waiting for it. Come on, get in range, buddy. As Gingy, that is your turn with the Jotnar on deck. Gingy, what would you like to do? As you know, basically, next turn, or this turn, is the attack again.
Yeah, can I hold my action as like a reaction? Whatever they do on their turn, whether it's they just hurt a bunch of people and now I'm gonna try to save somebody or retaliate by the guiding bolt.
Gotcha. I think, unfortunately, it has to be specific enough right now. With D&D 5e is it does have to be a little more like the name of the attacker spell to hold. Unless you want to send your turn after the Jotun, because that would allow you to say, okay, I'm just not going to take my turn yet, because then you can wait, see what he does, and then act accordingly.
Yeah, if I could do that.
Mm-hmm. That's totally fair. Because again, you're in Valka's pocket. I totally forgot about that. So yes, Gingy, you're sending your turn just enough down the line. It's not terrible, actually. To the Jotun. Oh. as Gingy and Velka and Adora. All of you are outside of this range. The Jotun slams his hands down. As he does so, I need Adora and Valka to make your attacks except breath weapons and deck save on his part.
No.
It's a nat 1.
Not one.
Hey!
Really?
Dichotomy. It's great.
I don't like digital
she
dice.
did say that she wanted to help someone.
Unfortunately, but that was
Oh.
sending a turn, like, because
Right.
that gives Gingy a greater action to use. Like, yeah.
It's like
On a
he's
nat
just
1,
too
just
high up.
away.
No!
Breath weapon comes off.
Oh, so that'll be 18 fire damage, but also, because of my Celestial Revelation, 2 necrotic damage, so a total of 20 damage.
You rock.
So I wanted to
He
remember that bonus
is
action.
bloodied. Horribly bloodied.
Oh, but that was a stamina.
And for maybe a couple rounds, blinded.
That's
So now my guy officially has disadvantage and fear and everything going on.
it's not a good day to
This
be
Jotun takes his turn. The other two, that Minrith and Shen, you can see, slam their weapons into the sides
Yep.
of Baldr's arms. The mountain itself shakes. You guys up at the very top definitely feel it.
Yep.
The arms don't look in any way close to cracking, though. You think it might take a couple rounds of these big attacks.
That's good.
That was their big... They telegraphed it. They did it. That's it. Adora, that's you.
Oh.
Or excuse me, Gingy, because Gingy sent her. So Gingy, this guy's on death's door, the first Jotun in front of you, and I should say, you know there's only 11 now. But there's 11. The one in front of you still here, though, is on death's door. What would you like to do, Gingy?
I'm gonna go ahead and guide people.
Guiding bolt. Love to see it. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Is it 12 hit?
A 12 does not hit. Blasting off against the icy skin. Doom! Pings away. The Jotun is very angry at what is happening. Indeed, that will then make Adora's turn.
Okay, slice in the floor.
Slice.
As a side note, what I want to do when I can see the vast majority of the giants, this is me I'm trying to make it not metagaming, right? Of if my suspicions have been confirmed and that Swiftwind is not with these people but they're with the other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would they have kept him like very much like as a cage on their hip kind of a thing? Like a luck check to see if Swiftwind is here? Because I was just thinking,
The lucky
you know, it'd be
cricket?
really helpful. The lucky cricket.
That's
basically.
actually a really good point.
Of like, if I have Swiftwind, I can get to their throats, their eyes, like while they're standing.
That's
Oh
a
yeah,
really
a
good
Pegasus
point.
would
Such a
totally help
faster
in this
move
combat,
speed.
wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Go ahead, pure luck check. Pure luck check.
Do you want to build that?
I would like a real die for this.
Like a real die. No, it's Frankenstein. Wait, I'm kidding.
8.
I'm
I
sorry.
did
That was
warn
so
you.
close to a nat 20.
It's
I'll
just
take the
it's a luck
usual
check.
dice
It's
now.
really no skill right now. It's that Swiftly. Swiftly.
Buddy!
I thought I should offer a real die for the drama, but like,
Here, Swiftly,
Can
Swiftly,
I then
Swiftly.
try again at a different round with the real dice in the box of doom?
Maybe.
Maybe. Sorry, I
respect
love you,
the
Megan.
box of doom.
Respect the box of doom. Use a real dice that isn't Megan's.
Is it Megan?
Go ahead. If you still want to, you may still roll to attack.
Thank you.
Because I think that was still then your big action this turn.
I would still like to roll to attack.
Mhm.
I want to
Excellent.
be level 5, and then I can
27.
get 2 attacks.
Hits.
No, I don't get
Excellent.
to attacks, but I get other
What the
stuff.
2 of us would do.
If I use
Level
a stamina
five,
point,
six,
will
nine.
it down it?
I gotta be really persnickety. You have to say you're using stamina point before,
Before I hit.
because that's how you called shots in. It's
Right.
before you roll the hit, saying I'm rolling to hit because I want to hit a certain body part, certain type,
fair,
try a certain
That's
effect.
17.
17. Oh, he's so close.
You can get the kill though.
So
Have
close.
you seen me roll?
So,
I guess I'll
so-
get
so-
it the next round.
the
That's
door-
why I was really hoping
at
for
the
Ginger's
end of
advantage
your
to go off,
turn?
'cause then somebody could have gotten advantage. Anyway,
Can I
I
just
don't
be
like
cyclically calling out to Swiftwind, like, if you can bust out of the cage and know my location, that'd be sick.
What?
Are you awake?
What was that?
Are you awake?
he's coughing. He's in the smoke.
Oh!
What?
Oh!
He's here.
Are you in smoke right now?
It's a whoa. There's a lot going on. Oh, hold on,
You
Adora.
are so
Okay,
clever.
It's not August is a detail.
Am I? What am I doing?
Is there smoke around you right now?
Oh yeah, there's a lot. Well, it's ice too. There's
Swiftwind,
snow.
I'm in the mountain underneath you!
What mountain? And that's where we're gonna end that turn.
I love that.
Indeed, you kind of called it. They're keeping him as a little trophy.
He's a little pet.
Little cricket.
Lucky Pegasus!
All right. Shen, that's back to you guys, but again, it's on the Jotnar's next turn that they're gonna move into position. They're so close. Is there anything kind of like Minark? Do you want to do something now preemptively, or still hold the action to wait until they move?
Did the avalanche kill Swiftwind?
Well, I mean, he is in a cage, maybe. So.
Might just bust the cage open. He'll pop out of snow like a HUD.
Like a... like Mushu.
Like daisies!
Basically,
Sorry.
because that's kind of his character.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's easy to go.
Okay. So how many of them are moving in?
As far as you can tell, because they've yet to hit their turn with the telegraphed action, you could assume that, again, there's one inside, there's two on either side, that leaves 8 others. At least 2, if not maybe 3, would be joining. Because, like, they could just send 2 in basically to try to squeeze through the passageway. Or it could be 2 to help knock down the arms and another one to hit straight through. So it's like a 2 to 3, you'd assume, which would bring your total up to 5, which is about half of their remaining forces.
Could I try to bait some more?
Yeah.
Switch your tail a little bit.
How do you want to bait them?
I was thinking if I could throw. I don't know how far away they are, or if I'd be able to do this, but I would like to maybe chuck a dagger into
That's why I did an action search when I missed the first time. I wanted to,
Mm.
but I'm like, no, I'm
Again,
in
he's
this
serving
area.
it.
Here's my thought.
He hasn't done his stuff yet, then we're-
Thankfully, these aren't D&D giants, because normally it'd be like, well, they're a mile away, you're not going to hit. These are Jotun. They're my kind of style of giant where you would have disadvantage, but again, these things are so big, you actually could still hit one at disadvantage right now.
Wow.
Like, trying to bait them in. So, go ahead and roll to annoy.
Roll to annoy.
Okay,
It's like-
so I have disadvantage, you said.
Disadvantage, just because there is enough of a distance that you're going to...
What is-
Everything's like,
that-
we need somebody
what kind
who's
of check
really
is
annoying.
that?
My time.
It's an
is
attack,
up.
because it's a dagger to hit.
That's what it's
Oh.
Seriously, I was telling you.
Oh, no!
He's being annoying.
Shen, on a natural 1.
No.
Here's what I love about my nat 1s.
Oh no. This is gonna be the anti.
It's...
I did not get a nat one.
You did not get... Oh, excuse me, it's an 11. Whew! Okay, good. I thought... I saw the 1 and 3, I'm like, no way. Shen, on a 9. It's not a nat 1. You take a dagger quick. Shoo! It's somewhere out there. It might even have hit a giant, but, like, who knows if it really damaged him.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So, unfortunately, nothing crazy, but again, they're about to get ready. That is Valka.
Oh, excellent. It's my turn.
Yep, Minarth's on deck.
Actually, sorry.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So I can. So that was my attack. I can use my bonus action as well to make. No, sorry, never mind. That's only 10 feet. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, no worries. Yes, Valka with Minarth on deck.
I'm going to bonus action Crimson Right, so I'm gonna roll to hurt myself real fast.
Roll to hurt yourself.
Okay, so I take 3 points of damage.
Okay.
And now I would like to roll to attack this Jotun, the one I just blinded with Dragon Fang.
Yep, you have advantage.
Thank you. 21.
21 hits.
13 plus 8 is 21, right?
Yeah, it hits. Valka is gonna hit this
Kill on
dude.
this one.
So that's 2d6 plus my d4 plus my necrotic.
Grody. Hate to see it.
I rolled 2 fucking snake eyes on my d6.
Ah!
Wait, great weapon fighter!
Great weapon
Do I get to
fighter!
reroll both of them or just one?
Both, yeah. I think it's any ones and twos, just once is the kind of thing.
One of them's still a 1, but the other one's a 3. Do you need to know what all the different types of damage are? Because I've got like lightning and necrotic and all sorts of stuff going. at
Is
this
it
point.
cold or fire?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's be real. Like, they've got two big
10
things.
points of damage. All of it's
10?
insanely magical.
How do you want to finish off this first one?
Yes! So its face is still down here right after I breathe fire into it, right?
Yes.
So I think it's that, like, he's blind, he's wheezing, and I see that, like, muscle working in his jugular trying to, like, breathe through the smoke, and I just reach up with Dragon Fang and slash it, and just, like, swivel gracefully out of the way as he, like, falls right next to me.
The second out of 12 Jotun fall dead into the
Nice.
burning
You
ash.
guys freaking rock.
And indeed, his body does not stay as the fire consumes it, licks it away, melting it until it is no more. As he can, unfortunately, Gingy, Spirit of the Dying won't really help in the fire field because when an enemy combatant falls into a trap, it will still kill them.
You know the good thing about the bodies melting away is that then you guys don't have to climb.
I was gonna say, no
literal
difficult
hills.
terrain
No
for us.
difficult terrain like that.
It's
Just gonna
indeed, if
squeeze
you had
past
fought
you
anywhere
and
else,
you're
suddenly you're
climbing
getting
speed.
difficult terrain the more you kill.
Yeah.
Minareth, back at the top, that is you.
How many giants are in the target range?
Right now,
Also, the ones that
still
get, like,
two because they're
fireworks don't-
about to start moving and telegraphing their
You mean the
actions.
avalanche?
In which case, that means we're probably about to get a whole bunch. So I will continue to hold my action.
It's rough. I knew this was
to
gonna
help,
happen.
Shen, that's what
Holding the action, helping Shen, because indeed, Minareth, the Jotnar act next.
Sweet.
You watch. They rush forward. The two on either side of the arms once again lean back their giant skyscraper level weapons to smash the arms of Baldr. One rushes into the fire field. He's going to make a dexterity saving throw. It was cocked, unfortunately. He succeeds. He will take half damage. 44 points of damage, though. Still sucks.
That's pretty good.
And it's still above. He will have to still roll to attack. Dang it. You hate to see it. Shen and Minareth. One has just entered in below the arms, basically taking up where his companion just fell. Another two rush to the arms of Baldr. So there's four now. And indeed, a fifth one is running up behind his brethren that is already inside. You see, because his telegraphed attack is he is picking up a giant boulder of ice and rock and is about to bowl it into everyone inside. I will let you all know, those on the ground, this will hit. And he's not in the fire, so he's not rolling it. He's about to bowl ice at you guys on his next turn.
If I were to...
The guy that's in is going to spread his attacks. Here we go. Bless you.
My gosh.
So his attacks are coming here and here. Yes,
You're
to
not
roll
showing
the hit. Yes, I'm just moving them
okay.
position and then revealing them.
How far is that ice bowling ball thing gonna
Actually,
go?
he's going to. If you want the specific measurements, I will show you.
Like,
real
is it
quick.
gonna go through the gates of Baldur's Haven?
Baldur's Haven. That's the range.
Oh, so we're
Wait.
gonna like die.
No, that's 55. I need to spread it to
Oh.
85.
Oh, we're gonna die.
It's
Question.
it will hit is
Yes.
the key right now.
Question.
Unless we stop him from throwing it before his turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
But
that.
I don't know if we
think
can
that's
get
geared avalanche.
I mean, the avalanche could stop him
Okay, that
because
would be
there's
helpful.
there's one in the fire, 5 outside. That's 6 total plus the other 4 that are back out of the 4. I will let you know At this point, you've yet to see anyone who would strike you as the king, as Farbauti. So it's definitely like he's probably
anybody
in the reserves.
Gotten hurt by the trees yet? Is that happening to anybody?
Not yet. I will impress upon it's eventually.
I'm
Once it
curious.
occurs, it occurs.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, it's kind of like the fire.
Yeah.
So that's their telegraph.
Are the giants at all with? I seriously doubt it. They're not within 60 feet of me, are they?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Well, it's like with Shen, where it's like if you're trying for a long range, it's technically disadvantage, but that brings us to Gingy. So, new giant's up above you and is bringing down both fists to just smash. Because unfortunately, my first two guys out the gate didn't have weapons. Well, because they sent the weapons to the arms. Alright, Gingy, what would you like to try?
I'm going betting wolf
Mm.
It is frosty.
Go for it.
How was this betting 20?
Sit 20's gonna do it! Go ahead and roll damage on this guy. Oh, he's not blinded. That was his dead. Grody. He is looking. Hold on. Horrifyingly hurt.
Lovely.
The most hurt he could probably be before bloodied is you think. He is already, again, the fire is not doing him any help right now. As Gingy, indeed you are now offering advantage as this giant starts softly glowing in a big old radius on the chest where that guiding bolt slugged into the sternum. And it's basically that like, hey, hit here.
Horrifyingly hurt is a good look on him.
Horrifyingly hurt. Adora, that's you. The rock-
Slicey and dicey.
Slicey and dicey.
But,
Would you like to still move out of this guy's range though?
No, not yet. Yes.
So how far? Forward, backward?
I'm gonna go in between his little thummy thumbs and his
Hmm?
pointer finger.
There is enough of a space there.
Yeah. And I think what I'm gonna do, because I'm hoping that top team knows to start the avalanche soon, right? Because of the bowling ball. Like, as I look over to Minner, I'm like, we can't do much. Stop that, can we? Wrong character. I look around that and I say, we can't do much to stop that.
Could my
Unless Megan doesn't
omen
understand how
reader
far we
thing,
are on the map.
the reaction of
If we can
advantage
get
or
there, then
disadvantage,
probably we could do
could
something. I
that
don't know what I'm
stack?
doing.
As in, okay,
Or, I mean, I know what
has
it is, I don't know
disadvantage,
how
but I
to
give
do
him
it. It's
advantage,
probably too far.
so then it's flat. Could this stack
I
and make
see.
it advantage?
Unfortunately, I don't think it would stack.
So
'cause
then,
it's still
what I
enough of the
could
reaction.
have done, now that I understand it a bit better,
Mhm.
could I instead lower the DC for Shen this time and use my reaction to give him advantage?
You're rolling to try lower DC and
and
using,
then use my
indeed,
auger
bringing
thing.
into our new homebrew Auger Soul.
I've been waiting for
a
you to do that whole
sorcerer
session. I'm
subclass
like, he can do
based
so much
on
cool
But
stuff.
I only
seership,
have 4
oracular
points, yeah,
visions.
so, yeah.
Again, you only it's
Mhm.
as many sorcery points as you have.
It's
So
kind
yeah.
of like the stamina points for us. I'm like, we can't just use them all
Yeah.
up front.
So
I do like how I can.
It's
here's
fun
the
to
goal.
have.
I will say I will retroactively allow this
Thank you.
as
However many are
Go
left,
ahead.
so 4.
make me a sleight of hand check. You're trying to lower the DC
Yes.
so that you can then offer again that reactionary to Shen. Quick, take an advantage for free.
Yeah,
Or
I'm hoping
not for
to
free.
lower the DC and give you advantage.
Here we go. Ready.
You can do this.
Oops, I clicked
Not
onto
like-
Nana because it reloaded.
Oh,
Give me
Nana.
just a moment.
Suddenly, Nana, some of the world, something has happened.
Something just happened.
Old lady just gets a.
Ooh, that's a 22!
Nice.
A 22 will get that DC 20.
Oh, I didn't get
It's gonna lower it for Shen. And again, you want it lowered for Shen because again, the higher Shen can beat his DC,
The
the
better
better.
the avalanche.
And you've got a reactionary if you want to on his
Yep,
turn.
I will give you advantage.
Give an advantage preemptively. Adora, you rush in between the fingers as it's coming down. You gonna attack him?
I am, and I know it
Yeah.
sound like a broken record. Keep going for that juggler,
The juggle?
but it is the easiest, weakest point that we can get to right now.
Do you want a stamina point or do you just want to roll it?
I still want to roll. We still have all of the guys who are out there right now that won't be taken by the avalanche. To which speaking, how are we getting out if the avalanche is coming?
We're not in. It's going around. Like the city's right here. We're
You're
in front
under
of
the
the city.
tent.
It's
Yep.
going around.
I can do theater of the mind. I'm sorry.
You're
No,
good.
you're good. This is usually me.
Well, and
because, like,
I feel bad because I
That's
can't
a
even
nat
really
13.
make a battle map for it. It would be so
For a
big to
total
try to
of,
show
yeah,
on a battle map.
21
21.
with a natural 13.
A nat 13. I'll definitely say it's the toothpick skewer through the hands going like you're kind of sticking in and slowly sliding out. Go ahead and roll damage as indeed Adora. The avalanche is
14
coming
points of damage.
swiftly. 14. This Jotun looks bloody.
After you.
After you.
Although we're starting.
You
with
had
the
advantage
lowest-
roll. Roll and see if you get a nat 20. Gingy offered you advantage. I need to check that more often.
Nope, that's a nat 1. I'm not taking it.
So it's not that one, but you still hit. Adora, as you jump up, getting this brief little safe spot, I will let you know, even though it looks like there's two, that is the one spot Valka. You probably can't join Adora there to
Sorry.
stay. That brings us to Shen. Shen, you've got reactionary advantage. You have been offered due to the Omen Reader from Minareth. You have a +6 to this.
Here we go. 24.
Yo!
24?
Oh, and I guess we can flavor with the horn.
Flavoring as, Minareth offering advantage, the horn, again, using that, you had that early morning vision of, if I bring this horn, it will help me. And Shen throwing the daggers like intricate matches, hitting the fuses on all these tiny pouches you've prepared. Boom, 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 boom.
This time the amplifies.
Boom! I need Shen and Minareth to make me dexterity saving throws as the mountain's about to give way.
Can Shen fly?
Technically, no.
Oh, no.
Peacocks are flightless birds.
Peacocks look cool, but they cannot fly.
I make this a disadvantage.
Ooh.
Oh.
That armor.
That's a nat 20. Come on.
Oh, no!
That's a nat 13 plus
Oh,
5,
ooh.
so 18.
18. And 15 for Shen. That's DC for both of you exactly. You will not be swept away. I will say immediately. The longer you
is a fair
stay,
point.
it is kind of that rushing river kind of thing of snow is going to keep going.
Yes, guys.
Both of you,
It's
not
okay.
15
I
doesn't
can
offer
do
too
feather
much
fall for
now,
both of us.
but indeed, Shen on a 24. The DC was lowered from the 20 that you needed, Shen, down to a cool 17.
Ooh, you lowered it a lot.
Meaning you beat it by 3 or more, or 3 twice, because by 7, so 6.
Ooh.
So that's going to include an extra 2 Jotun. So 7 total are going to be caught in this avalanche.
Ooh.
Who's left?
That's just 3 left, probably the king and the last 2.
The
Here we go.
deciding one.
Shen, you're going to roll this digitally for me.
Yep.
I need you to roll me a combined total of 80 D8 of bludgeoning damage.
I'm
So
so
much
excited.
damage.
Because it's bludgeoning. Technically, it's ice and snow, which
8-0?
80 D8.
Give me a minute.
I know, yeah, there's so many to type in. And if you miss it by 1 or 2, don't worry about it. Like,
I now see the use of digital dice.
that's why I'm like, there's so much.
I'm not gonna lie.
This
it
was one of
really
the
fun
smartest.
when we
I'm
had
glad you guys
so
had this
many
thought that
people.
Shen had the powder. This is one of the big wastes, unless you want it to be a brawl for hours against the Odin. Here we go. 80 D8 are all rolling,
Gunpowder!
lagging the
Glad we have
servers.
gunpowder. Glad we have
Odin's got
the
nothing
movie
on
Baldr,
Baldr.
so that I actually even thought of an avalanche.
Jeez, Odin, why didn't you just bomb 353?
Dude!
Ah!
I'm so happy.
Ah!
You love to see.
All right, now listen here. Would you like to know that even if they save their deck saves, half damage will down them?
300.
Oh my gosh. No.
As indeed, Shen and Minareth. It's almost a little clever you didn't get their attention because you might have drew them away. It topples down. Those on the sides are crushed. Their skulls completely deflated by the sheer force of stone and ice and jagged peak that crushes them.
Hey, what's none of that?
The rest, because again, their telegraphed attacks were about to just try to break. I did have 4. It might have broken the arms of Baldr if I got a really crazy roll. Instead, 7 Jotun go down hard.
Shucky darn.
That leaves 1 in the way and 2 behind.
So there's 2 behind the avalanche.
2 behind the avalanche that kind of watch their brethren are just dead in instants. I will say though, both of them look up. Shen and Minrith,
We're really
these
tiny.
2.
We're really tiny.
Oh, but they're coming for you. They know you're up there. It's not like, how convenient. I smell a bunch of powder and suddenly an avalanche kills 7 of my best. I will also say it's clever you got it off sooner rather than later. Some of these guys have weapons where it's kind of like the rock. It's just that it hits the area you're looking at.
You
Shen,
got the right timing, dude.
heck yeah.
Yeah, you guys did fantastic.
Fantastic. Just be very careful because they're coming for you.
I just love the fact that they died of smushing damage.
Smushing damage,
They
indeed.
are
Can
dead,
I
right?
ask Swiftwind if he's still conscious? I hope he wasn't on.
What was that? He was not dead.
Avalanche.
They are dead, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just like triple checking.
Valka burrows through the snow just to keep stabbing him with something. I'm like, no.
Death fails.
Still only
Death
comes
fails.
Valka, that is your turn. The one in front of you is bloodied, and you're in the range. Where would you like to move, though?
And just to be clear, the one with the big rock got smushed by the avalanche,
Yes,
right?
that was one of the
Alright, thank you,
extras that
guys.
you got. That's one like you
Yay!
really wanted to get the DC and above because you wanted to hit that
That was
dude
hugely
who's about to
helpful to us.
bowl you to
Yes,
death.
it was.
Alright.
Oh.
In that case, yeah, I'll, run forward out of range and try and attack this Jotun.
Mm-hmm.
These are flat attacks, right? 'Cause-
Yes, flat attacks.
Alright. So I will take a swipe with Dragon Pay. That's only a 17 to hit.
17 hits.
Awesome. So I'll roll that damage really fast.
Yep.
Roll that one. 19 points of damage.
19? Gosh. The Jotun in front of you is looking horrifyingly bloody.
I get a bonus action, right?
Yeah.
Can I take a swipe with Icicle?
Yeah.
That's just normal short sword, but magical, right?
Yes.
So, okay.
As that 2-weapon fighting, you quickly jump, one blade up, one blade to the side, you slash out with Icicle,
So remind me, I roll to hit normally, it's just the damage
and no
where I jumped
modifier
out.
buff. Yep. Yeah, still hitting, just you can't buff it anyway.
Oh, that was bullshit, because the crackle in my tray, like, it was
Yeah.
landing much better.
What'd you get?
Well, it's not gonna, because it rolled back onto an at 2, but it was gonna be something good.
It could have been good.
Like, I feel like that's
Could've
so
been 20.
unfair, because the crackle in my dice
The
tray.
crackles. Yep. That's
The
what,
dice cracks.
that's the game. Indeed, Valka, as you slash in, looking horribly bloodied, Minareth. At the top of your turn, I do need another dex save, as you are standing in streaming snow.
At disadvantage again.
Oh no. This could end really bad for you.
Yeah, I know. That's a 19 and a 19.
Yo!
Holy crap!
So Minareth in
Serpent.
bulky armor is just like hopping
nope,
from
nope,
like
nope,
stone
nope,
to
nope.
stone, and like it's very much the Mulan rushing water of snow scene of like don't nope.
Not today!
Not today.
No.
Minareth, you are not swept away. What would you like to do on your turn?
I have, if Featherfall prepared as a reaction for either one of us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not prepared as a reaction, it's just a reaction.
Just that, like, you have it in the works.
I would... Actually, could Featherfall be used to help us get down the mountain fast but safe?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, the only downside is you're going to be floating
So,
right down to the two
then-
Jotun down there.
I have a suggestion. If I were to, push you really hard, I basically want to launch you and cast Featherfall on you to just zing to a giant's neck.
After Shen blows up, you're just going to push Shen up the mountain.
I'm asking for consent.
Just Spartak.
Okay. You decline. Ah, that could have been fun, but it's okay.
It's that, like, yeah, Shen can't fly up, but Shen can glide, is kind of how we're flavoring it.
Which is why I was like, I mean, if we just go baseball.
If I hit my party member hard enough, can we yeet him down to the giant?
Well, I was saying cast Featherfall as well to just make it so he's super light, so he just flies.
Listen, I don't think I can condone pushing party members off a cliff. I think that's where we might be entering a level of Unu.
That's fair. That's fair.
If you want to
I'm
jump
literally
and cast
just
Featherfall on yourself,
I was gonna
you can
say
do
a
that.
couple years ago, you let one of Ty's characters push an NPC off a cliff.
That
But
is
it's an
true.
NPC, not a player.
That's because I
That's-
cast
that's-
Dominate Monster on him and killed him. This
You
isn't
gotta know,
Mufasa.
I am just picturing though the intro to Skyward Sword where she just shoves him off the edge
Yeah.
of the island.
Go, Shen! Be free! Yes. Shen falls very quickly. Oh, you're not a you're a flightless bird.
In which case, my spells are definitely, they don't have long enough range to be
Yeah.
able to get the giants. I don't like this. Could I... Well, I guess I do want to try and use Featherfall then to go slowly down... swiftly, safely down the mountain. And
Swiftly,
I
safely.
would like to be... My goal is to land on top of the snow that was part of the avalanche, because then I'm high enough, I think I'll be able to cast spells on
Yeah.
giants.
For
As they, like, come
sure.
towards us. I would like to stop with enough time that they're not just gonna immediately hit me, but they have to move and then hit me. Does that make sense?
Yes, 60 feet per round, so yes, I like it. Might still take a round or two to get all the way down the mountain, though.
That's fair.
Here we go. Minareth, you do that. The Jotnar will have their attacks. No one is in the choreographed attack. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Here's what will happen. The giant in the way. There's only 3 left. The giant here is going to move completely into
Opportunity attack.
Baldr's Haven.
Do we both get opportunity attacks?
Yes, indeed. Even Gingy gets opportunity attacks.
Between the 3 of us, we could do this.
You might be able to do it. Because this dude is, like, bum rushing inward.
25 to hit.
25 hits.
And I meant to say the dumb poopy.
The stamina, yep, it's
poopy
okay.
Hands. You can
And I
take
got a
before you
17
get
to
here.
hit.
17 hits. So, Adora and Valka hit.
13 points.
Adora deals 13 points of damage.
I'm just double checking which damage things I get only on my turn, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
So I know
quickly
what to roll
clarify
with
that.
this.
The other 2 Jotun behind, one of which turns. Now, fun fact, you
Wait,
killed
wait,
off a
can
lot
I
of
try
them.
to latch onto him?
No, because that would have to be a stamina point culture kind of thing. The Jotun behind are not acting in the same range. The 2 behind are about to telegraph attacks. Shen and Minareth. Minareth, you are falling. You see this.
Yes.
One of them holds up a large ice-blasted axe,
Uh-oh.
where inside is what looks to be a diamond almost the size of a house. As this one
I don't
points
like
it up at there is about to be a giant spell coming at you guys.
Anybody
I'm
else
about
want
to cast Wall of Ice
Do I
Oh,
not get to do
shoot.
my damage, or do you
all across.
I-
I'm just telegraphing the
Okay.
attacks real quick. A Wall of Ice is about to hit the entire top of the mountain and some. So Shen and Minrith, you might not make it out of the way with Featherfall still on you. We'll, on your turn, we'll finish the calculation.
No, you're good.
Shen, you know it's that, like, this thing's got a good spread. It very much is that, like, as he's upcast, this giant is the spellcaster doing this to you. If you don't move quickly off the top of the mountain, you're about to get blasted into there's no death save at that point, you dead kind of vibe. As they telegraph, how much damage did you deal, Valka?
16.
Oh, he's on death's door.
Gingy gets a
But-
opportunity.
Gingy, would you like to take an opportunity attack?
I would love to see Gingy finish him off.
Gingy, you could finish off this Jotun.
Yeah.
I mean, Minrith and Shen just took out 7. Adora and Valka have 1 each. This could be Gingy's.
I really wanted to be Gingy's.
Yeah, because then we'll be like, I guess Gingy's in the game now. Alright.
This burnt
Gingy
cookie
deserves
full
it.
of anger.
She's this tall.
I know.
I was gonna say, because
Quirky, I
Gingy, you
guess.
can use basically whatever melee weapon you want.
I think she's got the cinnamon stick.
You
That's
do have the
true.
cinnamon stick right now. That's a fun one.
Doesn't that do fire damage?
Yes, it
That
does.
does fire damage.
So that cinnamon stick, the 2d4
It's
cinnamon
real
stick.
Object interaction,
spicy.
launch Gingy over to the front.
So Gingy, if you want, you could use, it's still the dagger roll for the cinnamon stick, but it's a dagger that can deal 2d4 of fire damage on a hit. Because it's the stick. It's the cinnamon stick.
August gives good sticks.
Mm-hmm.
You give
Delicious.
some cheeks.
That felt
Delicious.
pointed.
It's a very pointed stick. It's a dagger.
And it just stabs
That
it.
was beautiful. Why, thank you.
It's a good point to make.
Pretty sharp. Pretty sharp.
Oh shoot! I think I forgot to add the cinnamon stick to your inventory, Gingy. I'm so
Oops.
sorry.
Here,
Isn't it 2d4 fire damage?
Actually, it's 3d20s.
Oh
Here we go.
yeah, totally. But genuinely, I think he said it was 2d4 because he rolled a nat
It's
20 on that.
2d4 because it's a
Okay.
normal dagger damage, but just doubled. Yes, for sure.
Well, and she's proficient in daggers, right?
Yep.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, we're ready to add it all, but yeah, you can just roll a d20. Yeah, I kind of forgot just in the like swing of things last time. I'm like, oh yeah,
You're good.
a 15. Oh, because that's already adding in your +3. Okay. Gingy, you leap out, and as you fly through there, this charred little cookie screaming, you stab into the back thigh, and just kind of like hang there as the giant runs further into Baldur's Haven.
Dang.
He's not dead.
After a moment, Gingy, lines of fire, like crackled cookie top, spreads from the cinnamon, starts spreading through. It hits exactly.
Yes!
Yo!
So go ahead, roll
Nicely done.
2d4 plus your dex. A
Nicely
15
done, my cookie
hits the
friend.
AC exactly. That was wild.
Yeah.
8 points of damage. Gingy, as the Jotun runs, screaming, "Blood for Ymir! No! Oh, oh, oh!" As he suddenly starts smacking his legs, trying to get this little cookie off of him. He falls, crumbling into ice and sludge and fire.
Yes!
Gingy, the giant slayer, stands atop,
Gingy,
cinnamon
the
stick in
giant
hand.
slayer.
There are only 2 Jotun left. One of them is telegraphing
bad
his
part.
attack for a big spell on top of the mountain.
So I'm guessing Swiftwind is on one of the 2.
As Farbauti, the king of Jotun, turns, he is about to telegraph his action, which is to run.
Really?
He just lost 11 of his top warriors.
Should we?
He getting out of there. You hear Swiftwind in your mind just, help, help, I'm moving, I'm being...
Let's get him! I mean, we
Yo.
probably should have expected it
Probably.
to be on him.
I mean, yeah, well, I mean, like, if I was King of Giants, I'd keep a little
Yeah.
pet Pegasus in a cage, like...
That's very fair.
Can he please make checks to get out that useless sack of equestrian piece of?
Here's what's about to happen.
I love that.
It's a
I mean,
telegraph
no way we'll be fast
action,
enough to catch
meaning
up to
it
him
will
otherwise.
happen in a turn.
Right.
So we stop him.
That
before-
is Gingy's turn to begin. Now, Gingy, as much as we flavored you hanging onto the Jotun, I won't be mean and say, well, now you're like 90 feet away. Like, it's that level of, like, Gingy, you are still with Valka at the edge of the fire fields, where across it stands the last two Jotun, one of which has Swiftwind, the Pegasus, at his side.
I want this session.
What would you like to do,
called Fire
Gingy?
and Ice.
You can either hold an action
Because
or
they
do other
died
stuff
by
on your
fire
turn
and by
for this.
ice, which is the best
Oh, yeah.
part concerning their Jotun.
And if he's running, I'm kind of in that like, okay, if you're surrendering, like, cool, surrender as a father. If you
Gotcha. You cut out only a little bit. I just kind of missed a half a second. What's the complete held action? I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking up on my action. Mostly because I only have one spell.
Gotcha. So, a last big attack, but you definitely have to hold it because it's not like, well, one cookie cannot get there right now. It's, yeah, that's fair. Here we go. Adora. That's your turn.
I have an idea. We baton race this shiz. I pick up you and Gingy. I run as far as I can.
Oh,
and then
hopefully
you guys
guys can
now
get
have
far
your
enough.
movement in action to keep going.
Can we do that?
You
I
would have to
20
make
strength.
for your...
You have a great
You have to make a big athletics check because, in theory, if you don't have to use your, if you use an action to pick up idle out, but of course, action dash is kind of what you want.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to make an athletics check to heave Valka and Gingy onto your shoulders
Man,
and
Gingy,
run.
what have you been eating?
Gingy, what's going on?
She is a cookie.
23.
Pure sugar.
23 will succeed the check.
That's
Good.
so dope.
As Adora, action dash movement, you rush in.
Could I technically do
Are you trying to action search to make
action
another dash?
surge? Do another dash?
Action
Yes!
surge!
That's incredible!
Boom, boom, boom.
That's
boom.
amazing.
Through the fire and the flame.
And the flames and the ice and snow.
So,
Love the music.
you make it through the flame fields. So close. Again, the real problem is just avalanche up above is so much. You rush in all the way to the base of this snow. Adora, that's a hell of a turn.
That's amazing.
That brings us quickly. We cut back up. Shen, on the top, before your turn, I do need a dexterity saving throw to fear of being swept away in the snow.
How much? I need to get my calculator. Hold on.
23. Yeah, you're good, Shen. You just alight onto a solid rock. What would you like to do, Shen?
Okay. So what I would like to do is be annoying. How close is this mage giant? Like, could I glide over to him?
I would say, because you're
You
coming
could've
from
let me
above,
yeet
gliding.
you.
if you allowed Minaret to push you, I don't think, actually, even with a push, if I'm doing my, yes, Shen, you would make it about halfway, just with that glide, because you can choose to, as it kind of D&D, I choose to drop, and at the last second you kind of like pull out of the glide. It still would take about 2 rounds for you to just soaring condor eagle down and in, shall we say.
Okay. Would it be possible to use a bonus action to dash to make it the full way? Or
Oh,
He's a ruggedy rogue.
That's clever.
yeah, you could make it bonus action dash.
okay. So I guess that's what I would like to do, just kind of glide over. I don't want to be in front of him, but I kind of want to make it onto his shoulders, like right behind his neck.
Yeah.
And I'm, so the king of the giants is running.
Yes, he's about to run.
Could I use a stamina point to, kind of bait him into making an attack against me?
Stamina point would be neat because again, you're asking him to change his telegraphed action of like, hey, King Farbauti, don't run, attack me, right? Like hit me.
Yeah, basically I want him, what I'm trying to do is I want him to make an attack against, hit.
Yeah.
Hit, right?
I like it. Go ahead. You're gonna roll to hit. Again, we're flavoring as that dagger coming out because you want to hit him with the stamina point, which actually still will deal damage. Important to note, Shen.
And, let's see, that'll just be ready with the dagger. 15.
A 15 hits exactly.
Yes.
Again, giants can only ever really get a 15 because of how big they are. That's gonna max damage, Shen. So how much damage are you just maxing here real quick?
That's only 8 because I don't get a sneak attack or anything.
Right. Adora is still running with your friends over. 8 damage is still insane. As Shen
Actually,
flinging the dagger, hitting right across the cheek. The king of the Jotun slowly turns. Again, that very telegraph. He's about to change. He might go in for that attack against you, try to smush you.
So, side note. Apparently, the average human woman could run about 8 miles per hour.
Huh.
I am currently running 15 miles per hour.
Yeah.
At the speed of 90 feet in 6 seconds.
Yeah.
sprinting.
But
Sprint.
it's not as good as Usain Bolt because I thought him and faster than Usain Bolt. He's like,
No.
nah, 27.
It takes a
But it's
lot.
also that, like, I think Lana just put out, it's that 6-second sprint. It's
Yeah.
not the sustained running
It's
of
true.
theoretically you then slow for
Indeed,
and we do the
that
whole,
will bring us
mile at this pace.
Valka. That is your turn. Are you ready to jump and run?
I was gonna say, can I get there with my movement?
Your movement would get Gingy in range for a spell.
Morgan, could I then huck Gingy?
Throw Gingy? I mean, yeah.
I guess it depends on what you want to do. If you want to stay back with me
We
and
need
cast
to
a spell,
make
that's
him a
fine.
little parachute
But-
for these things.
What would you rather do, Gingy? Because Valka could get you where you would still be with Valka and then could still make, I think Guiding Bolt has a grody distance.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's you could be with Valka on her shoulder and still able to cast it, or Valka could throw you to try to get you up with the giant, just like take a cookie and just underhand fling you through the air, spinning, and try to get to, in theory, Swift Wind on the belt.
But I, if she's worthy, then I press one. What's the
Guiding bolt in the face and blind him?
Guiding Bolt and a stamina. Oh, you don't have stamina point. Correct. But yes, Guiding Bolt to the face still would hurt. It would offer advantage to whoever hit him next. Here's what I will say then. To have this happen, Valka, I need
Athletics check?
an athletics check to huck Gingy. Again, a cookie throwing star.
That's a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Gingy flying through the air at velocity speed, just before you hurl your gumdrops, Gingy, you catch enough bearing, you target, held action, go ahead and roll that guiding bolt into his face.
Oh wait, Gingy goes after Valka?
Well, Gingy held action for this.
Oh, you're right. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful.
Can I have abandoned quickly?
I will allow advantage. It's a point blank in the face. I'll allow it.
Plus
Because that would have been
roll.
that too.
Nat 20? Hell yeah!
That's a nat 20!
Blind his ass! Crit! She crit!
as Gingy,
Hey,
the
that's gonna be
gingerbread
so-
man,
So good.
crits
Damn,
on
I would love to
Farbauti,
see
the
that.
king of the Jotun. Gingy, go ahead and roll
You'll love to see it.
8d6.
Would this be on the lingering wounds table at all?
That is on the lingering wounds
So
table.
even if
Oh,
he gets
I forgot
away,
we were-
Even
gets a
if he
lingering
gets away,
wound.
he's about to have a lingering wound. 20. That's 50?
Nuh-uh.
What?
What?
Good lord. Oh, you rolled 8d6. Okay, I thought you got 25 on 46. I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh.
how?
I was like, the
The
math
math
is
ain't
not
mathing?
math.
25?
That's still great.
And I'm about to roll the lingering wounds, because this is radiant damage. Gosh. Oh my gosh. Here we go.
Love to see it.
Oh no, that was a low roll.
What's
Oh
wrong
no!
with him?
Gingy. Appearing across King Farbauti lives in Jotunheim, a land of ice and snow. There's no sun. There's no light. You expose him to thousands of years of concentrated radiant nuclear light in the span of a nat 20 to his eyes.
Yes.
You watch large skin tumors start peppering his face in giant gray patches. He now has disadvantage on any charisma and wisdom checks.
That guy's ugly.
And if he can't cure this within a certain amount of time, he will develop systematic damage as per the poison table of this.
Yeah.
You gave him cancer.
You love to see
You
it.
gave him skin cancer to his eyes.
Yes, Gingy gave the king of the Jotunheim skin cancer.
Gingy.
You love to see it.
Boom! And just blinds the king of the
Oh
Jotun.
my god.
The
I just think
Jotnar.
that like the little arms go in, Gingy, and then you just
Oh
like
my
bam,
gosh.
and it's just like a ray.
It would have been so cinematic because he could have actually gotten blindness, but I think it still
It's still
hurts.
great.
This
As-
is still a win.
That was Valka's turn. Valka, you end 120 feet away
That's amazing.
as Gingy flying through the air slams in. Gingy, you land on top of a large metal cage at the hip of the king of the Jotun, or the Jotnar,
I'm so jealous of your magazine.
as you hear out loud, Gingy,
I want a blank seat.
a giant Pegasus, or giant to you, looks up out of the cage. Are you with Adora?
Yes.
Oh, good. I think I was going crazy. So, where is she? As Swiftwind starts engaging conversation with you, Gingy. That brings us
Would you like me to get out?
very much so.
Can she object interaction undo a latch?
No, this is a locked cage. It will. Gingy, on your turn here in just a second, you totally can.
Okay.
Minrith, I did the calculations.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to drop Featherfall to not be hit in this giant ice wall that's erupting on top of the
How
mountain.
far am I from the ground?
Well, if you were
Wow.
interested,
I am indeed quite
we're looking at
verily.
the full 20d6 of falling damage, for lack of a better term. Here is your... This is kind of the goal, Minarith. Would you rather take door number 1, the wall of ice,
How about
wherein
Adora?
you would have to make
Adora
a
help me.
dex save or take 10d6 of cold... Oh no, he's upcasting it. Right. Yikes. Because he has access to 8. Either 14d6 cold damage, possibly halved, or 20d6 falling damage.
So the 14d6.
14, go ahead. Make me... it'll happen on your next turn. Because right now you're feather falling. So you keep
Yeah.
feather falling up, but you
Lucky.
will be in range as again. This other Jotnar is just getting ready.
How close am I to party members and enemies? What is the closest thing? Is there anyone
200.
within even
No.
60 feet?
No one within 60. Well, that's it. If you drop featherfall, you could hit them as
Nope.
you fall.
Sorry, nope.
Yeah, right.
That's a death sentence.
That is a death sentence.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't realize Wall of Ice could, because I realized, oh, you can form it or spread it out, and that's what he's
Yeah.
doing. It's
Am
kind of
I
that like
within
ice lightning that
120
is trying to follow. Are you within 100? You're not within 120. Because
Of
Shen
anyone?
Dash, that's what got him down fast. You are dealing with, as you fall, you're about 2 rounds away from being on top of the giants.
So, dead. So not even 120 feet within the hip of a giant. Say, firebolt the cage to fall.
Well, that's it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's to the head is how I'm distancing you right now.
I see.
Because Shen
Well, we
has
were
that.
high up.
My dude not only glide but rogue that bonus attack dash just went screeching
Okay.
down fast.
Cool.
Featherfall saves your life, but at the same time it does keep you out of the proverbial
Yep,
fight.
yep. But it's okay.
Here we go. Minarith,
Yeah.
I need a dexterity saving throw
Okay.
as the ice will erupt around you. As it is the Jotnar's.
Oh no, that's a 16 already.
That's a 16?
You know what? Reaction, I'm using Augur to give myself advantage,
Give
so
yourself
this
advantage.
is flat. So I take the 16, because anything worse, I'm really screwed.
It's not going to help.
Not gonna help, okay?
If you succeed, you will still take 51 points of cold damage.
But I
up
have to do it at
25.
disadvantage, and so then this, making it flat, 16, so that's it.
The
I have
DC
20.
17, as this was
so
their
close.
heavy caster,
Oh, so close.
deals.
Can I use my point of inspiration to that roll?
Unfortunately, because Minarith's natural ability already offers the event, I don't think I can allow inspiration right now.
Thank you, though.
That's a clever. It's a good question. Minarith.
Mm-hmm.
After what seems like eternity, as the ice envelops your body, dealing double your damage.
That's double her damage?
That's 51 points of cold damage,
What's your hit point max?
24.
Mm-hmm.
You find yourself
You just got
in
hit.
a small
Oh, that's right.
little cafe, a bar, one might say, as a large hooded figure sits next to you with large canine red eyes underneath the hood. Hola, little Etherboy. Fancy a game?
Who are you?
Oh, allow me to introduce myself. Some call me the bounty hunter. Some call me the big bad wolf. You may refer to me as Death.
Oh! You're one of the 4 who started all this. I see.
See,
Nice to meet you.
it's a pleasure. Don't worry, you're not the first of the champions to have died. But you all get a little bit of special privilege, as you could say.
Fate smiles upon us.
I'll give you a chance. You can play a game for your soul. Any game. But if you lose, your soul is forfeit.
So, Minarith believes in fate and destiny and all this stuff. So, unfortunately, I think she's gonna go with something like that.
What's the game? I must warn you, for every champion that challenges me, your pool of options get ever slower, get ever smaller.
Also, if you want my 2 cents, because the lore of this is in practice, it's you playing August. You don't have to feel tied
This
to that
is for
character
everyone to
decision.
know. This
can
isn't
be
a game
Lonnie's
in
choice
D&D.
instead of
This is me.
Minner's
Any
choice.
You
game.
choose a game. You play
It's cool
me.
if you want to make
If you
characters,
win,
but like
you get your
you
soul.
don't have to.
If not,
You can bet a game as
Do
much as you
you
want.
know how to play speed?
the card game.
Yes.
Don't play cards with August.
Okay. Well,
You can.
I
do
want
really
to do a merge of things that I'm good at and
Megan, can
my
you go
character.
grab me a deck of cards? Because I realize the deck of cards I have out here are marked for D&D right now. I'm gonna just quickly refresh because I think I know how to play, but I'm also gonna make sure it's rules that we both agree on.
Okay, that's fair.
So speed, right? Player chooses set up. To do so, player chooses a random card. Yeah, find the dealer. Death's gonna be the dealer. Shuffles the deck. 2 piles of cards face down to each
Your
player.
mini cards?
The first pile has 5 cards. The second pile has 15. Yes. I remember this now.
So there's 2 piles,
2 piles. One with
5
5,
and
one
5.
with 15.
and then I thought 2 piles on the outside that were 5 and 5, and
The
then
dealer
we
then
have
makes
the
4
rest.
piles of cards in the middle of the gameplay area.
Mm-hmm.
The first and fourth have
Oh,
5,
yeah.
and the second and third
Okay,
have
yeah.
1.
That's a little. Oh yes. I remember the setup now.
Both players pick up their own 5-card pile.
And you can only hold 5. at a
Players
time.
then flip over the 2 1 cards in the middle.
Mhm.
Players then use these 2 middle piles to get rid of their cards. Can get rid of the following of increase and decrease in
Yep.
sequence. Ace, of course, goes around.
Yep.
There are no turns. Players get rid of the cards as they can. After
You can
playing
only-
card, you replace it with your 15-card pile.
Yes. And
No
you can
players
only
can
own
play.
5
Both
at a
players
time.
have to replace the middle piles with the top card of the side piles. If the side piles become exhausted, the middle cards are shuffled, but that almost never happens.
Yeah.
Player who gets rid of their cards first wins. Oh, now here's what's fun. Megan
Yep.
knows this. Tice knows this.
Mhm.
I love card games.
I do too. I'm good at speed from everyone that I've played against, which is a fair number of people, but I know that you are ridiculously talented in so many things. Ugh.
Oh. There's our 5 cards.
Okay. And do you allow us to look and organize our hand before we start?
Your choice.
That's always how I've played, but
I've played both ways. I've played you can't touch. I've played this with Tice actually. Now that I think back to high school.
hey, Ty.
I will play either you look at your cards before you play, or we both get a chance to see our hand. So here's your 15.
Oh yeah, thank you.
So here's the 2 cards in the middle that we play on. So that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So would you like to look at the hand
I
before we
would.
play?
Yes.
Remember, it's just sequential. Suits mean nothing.
Yep.
The numbers, ace goes around from king to 2. Are you ready?
Yes.
On your mark. Get set,
go.
go. I cannot play.
1, 2, ready, go. Go ahead.
Well done. That's right. There we go.
My heart is beating so freaking fast, y'all.
Good. Can't play.
1, 2, ready, go. Frick. Oh my god! Oh my gosh! Thank God!
You do not understand how you do with a card game. You do not understand. You
One.
dodged all the bullets right now.
1 card.
I cannot believe you did that. That feels so good. Because you know what? That's not earned win. The rest of us on Saturday, we were like, what's something I know I can beat him at? You actually did the work.
I play
That
with
is
fate and I
amazing.
freaking won!
That was so
Oh my
good.
gosh. Oh my gosh. My heart is beating
Wow.
so hard.
To one
earned.
card.
That
I
was
will say,
pure
I clever.
skill.
I don't think I've played speed since high school.
Minarith is very chill. I'm not.
That's fair. This is for your life.
Minarith
I'm
and
very
Louise.
attached to Minarith.
I feel like
You just got your new
death
sunblock.
like hits the last card.
Bien hecho. You did it. Have fun back in the real world.
Thank you.
As Minarith, you feel your body come back. You are,
Well done.
well done.
That's so cool. Just makes me happy that he used it.
You are at 0 hit points, but stable. As death allows your body to
You're alive.
return.
That's amazing.
You're alive. Oh! Didn't think I needed to practice my card skills, but
Frick
now
yes.
speed is off the table
Yes,
for
it is.
everyone. No one can use speed. Again, the more people die, the more games are off the table. And I won't tell you what games are still on or off because you could try to prep, and if someone takes the game, if they die,
Yep.
then it's that rough. How do you finish it? Oh, that was so close. As the Jotnar finish their turn, Shen, he is going to attack you. Now, Shen, he does have to roll because he changed tactics. He changed his telegraphed action. So he is going to roll to hit you with an unarmed strike, basically. Yikes. Shen, that is 28 to hit. He will, of course, hit his companion as well. Everyone's ooh, come down, come down. He is going to hit you, Shen. Ooh, you love to see the low rolls. 18 points of damage, Shen. Still a lot, but thankfully, I mean, if I had rolled really high, he could have done some serious damage. But smacks you hard as you are still up. Minarith, you are now basically frozen at 0 at the top of the mountain.
We just gotta thaw you out a little bit.
That was
Do I still get
crazy.
to make death saves on my turn?
No, actually, you're just stable.
Cool. Because I thought you'd said that we could still try and roll a 13 or a 20, but if you,
You
say
could
no,
try,
that's
but
fine.
probably only once is kind of my rule. It's
That's
like,
fine.
yeah, you're stable, but I'm not going to allow it, because continually, eventually, you'll get it.
That's totally okay.
The Jotnar take their turn. As the king of, he's still here. That will make Gingy's turn with Adora on deck. No worries, we can retroactively come back. Adora, that's you. You running?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get onto his ankle. Trying to get
60
onto
feet.
that guy.
Unfortunately, you're still 30 feet behind Valka. No, you're right up with Valka. Because if you dash as an action and your movement, that gets you, you're 120 feet away from him.
So,
Yes.
If I use everything, I'll be up with Falca? Or if I just use my 30, I'll be up with
If you use everything, you're up with Valka.
Do you want me to try and carry you on my turn?
I'm behind you.
Well,
No, but if you use everything, you
but
get up to me.
then
I'm
that's your
I
action
would
to
greatly
get.
appreciate that.
Okay. Valka can still carry you with her forward.
120 feet away, there's nothing I can do on either, really, at this level.
Indeed.
We're keeping up.
Shen, the king of the Jotun turned and punched ya. What would you like to do, Shen?
Okay, I'm getting on a dodge.
Yeah, it's not like, oh no. Again, no real opportunity attacks because they're too big, so you can just kind of sail away.
Well, it doesn't matter because if I hit them anyway, they can't make an opportunity attack against me.
Right, that's so good.
Like, see that one?
Yeah.
The fancy
mobile.
footwork.
Fancy foot.
That's so
Before I
cool.
do kind of get away, I am going to negate one attack on this mage.
Yeah.
It's a very specific type of subclass. Makes me think of
I like
pirates.
Swashbuckler?
Yes.
Yeah.
Swashbuckler.
Like not scallywag,
Well, that
not
is.
scallywag, not scallywag.
Shen is a scallywag. No, yeah, that's
I've
not.
never played with Swashbuckler. They sound really fun, though.
They're really fun.
One of my favorite NPCs I made from one of
16
my
will hit.
campaigns with my siblings.
And
Swashbuckler.
then because we're one-on-one in melee, then I also get sneak attack.
Yes. Because Gingy's right next to all y'all.
So take 10, 21 down, 6, so 16
16. Both the mage and the king, Farbauti and the mage are looking hurt. You guys are doing the damage, Shen, as you then can jump out, glide, get away from any other telegraphed attacks. That will make Gingy, you're back. Would you like to, though, take your turn after Valka so you can have a second to think? Or do you want to take your turn now? Yes. Go ahead. As you... Yes.
Sorry, before that, I wanted to move and bonus action dash away.
Perfect. Shen, you are on the ground. You're actually that 120 if you just go diagonally down next to Valka and Adora, landing on the ground. Yeah, you're out of range, so even if they start telegraphing, that's good. Gingy, slipping down to the lock on the cage. If you'd like, Gingy, you can make me a sleight of hand check to try to pick the lock. Oh no, a nat 1. Gingy, right
Gingy
when you
senses
think
inspiration.
you got it, your cookie arm clicks into lock, you're like, I got it! And you crack, and your cookie arm just comes off. And you know, like, you can rebake and basically regrow it, but it's still that very frustrating, like, dang it.
Can you beg Tice for inspiration?
If you want to beg Tice for his point of inspiration, you could use it. No worries. Again, like, we still have the upcoming turn before they telegraph what they're about to do. Valka, that is you with Minarith on deck, where you can make one check. Valka, what would you like to do?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and pick up a door and sprint to
Lift.
60 feet. Just
You
'cause
love abusing
we're
D&D
100
mechanics.
We're 120 feet away. We gotta do something. We have no
Yeah.
seats. Or, actually, geographical question first, I guess. Where were the trees, just for the heck of it?
The trees
terms of, like,
were
where we are
mostly
and
in
where-
the fire area.
Okay, so like they were behind us and not okay.
You'd have to
'Cause
get
I
those
was-
guys back in.
My only other question is like if they were in a convenient place for us to like go back away and try and like lure them in, if that makes sense. But
Yeah, and that might be a very hard DC given
I'm
everything
gonna
that's
pick
already
up a door.
happened.
I mean,
Pick
you
up
could
a door.
use me and say, here's the one who slew the, you know.
I think
Get
I'm
out.
concerned about that's probably not gonna do much actually. That's a nat 3, so gives me an 8 for athletics.
You will have to dash then carrying a door. Because you aren't able to, like, offhand grab her. You're going to have to take...
Kinda like how
Or
I
excuse me,
have
not
my
dash.
action.
You'll have to take the action to lift her, to run with her.
So we only move 30 feet forward. Would it be smarter for me to then just not?
Go.
Yeah, I think I'll just take my 60
Keep
feet
going.
and leave her.
60 feet. So you're 60 feet behind, really close. Minarith. On
Sorry, I
20 or
rolled very
13.
badly.
Can I roll a real d20 for this?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
You are.
That is a 3.
A
We
3.
gave her the cursed die.
Minarith. Hey, you guys gave me the... I just rolled a nat 20 off
Are
there.
you serious?
That's hilarious.
It's okay, at least I didn't roll it
Minarith, at the end of your turn, the Jotnar, for their telegraphed attacks, are about to both flee. You can tell that King Farboti is he already was going to go. But so is now the mages. On their next turn, it's dash action gone.
So it's the king and the mage that are left. The two strongest.
Two strongest. But again, you took out their entire advance guard.
You gotta know. If one of them drops, I might be able to do a thing. But
I wish I could help.
Gingy, that's back to your turn. Gingy, go ahead, make me sleight of hand, get the lock.
Alright. There's my
Oh no.
better.
Gingy, you put in your other arm. Aha! Oh, I see what I did wrong. I went clockwise. And when you go counterclockwise, you almost crack off your other arm. It's like, nah, okay, never mind. Don't twist, don't twist. Adora, that's you.
I'm running.
Running.
Running a dashing.
That will get
How
you
far
within
am I away?
60 feet away.
Okay.
You can
am
now
I
see
past-
Swift with. No, I'm up here!
I'm working on
In
it!
a cage! There's a cookie here! Says he knows you!
He does!
Oh! As you run up.
Can you tell him to like kick the lock or something?
Can
to
you
give Gingy
kick
advantage?
the lock?
I mean, yeah.
Do it!
Oh, sure. As
Oh
he
my
will offer
gosh.
the help action to Gingy.
He's
to,
such a butt.
more that, like, he is Adora's steed and can't really take direction except from her. Shen, that is your turn as these giants are about to flee.
I am going to let them
Yeah.
that I'm hurt, so I'm going to strike a pose with my wand down out to the side, my tail feathers up, and let them flee before me.
But striking a
Let
pose
them
is
flee.
very important.
Striking a pose. Battles are won by poses, Shen. Indeed, Shen, you strike the pose. Valka, that's you.
How far away am I? 60 feet still?
60 feet. If you run, you'll be within 30 feet.
Yeah, I think I'll do that, and then... Has anyone attacked them since Gingy's guiding bolt?
Gingy Guiding Bolt. No one's attacked. Farboti hasn't been attacked since then. Shen got the mage hit when Farboti hit the mage.
But my question was, like, if I were to attack Farbati, would I get the guiding bolt advantage?
Yes! Oh, you would! Because Gingy's Guiding Bolt advantage is still active.
Sweet.
I only get a +2 to crossbow attacks, but advantage might.
Advantage might do it.
Because then you only need to
Would
roll
you
a
like to
13 or
stamina
higher.
point this, or would you like to just roll it?
Yeah, I'll stamina point it, and actually, I have a bonus action, right?
Yeah.
I would like to bonus action Crimson Right my crossbow as well, because you have to do it on 2
Yeah.
separate weapons, I think. And so I want all the damage I can possibly get.
All the
So
damage,
I'm
bamf
gonna
in max
roll
amount.
the d4 real fast, see how much damage I take. It's only 2.
Only 2 is not bad. The only damage you've taken this fight was
Is from
yourself.
Alright, so I'm going to roll and hope this hits.
Oh,
With advantage,
That's only a 16.
16 hits. The minimum AC is 15.
Alright, so...
Or should I say, the
Max
max they
damage.
can get is 15. Yeah, they.
D8.
It would be very busted in my opinion if Giants can get better ACs because I'm like they're so big. That's so mean.
Big guys.
The big boys.
Again, this is then a big old mix of lightning and
You
necrotic
stamina
damage.
point it. It's max.
Oh, yes, that's right. Alright, so 8 plus 4 plus 2... 8 plus 6 for 14.
Farboti.
did you add your dex?
I have 0 dex.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Farboti is looking horribly hurt as Gus slamming into him. Valka horribly hurt. He's about to run. Minareth, you did already make your check. To be completely fair, the Jotnar act first, wherein they are about to sprint away. So far that truly none of you can follow. Save Gingy. Gingy, you have an advantage, sleight of hand, to try to unlock this cage before either of the giants look down and notice you, right? This is your one chance to unlock the cage. With advantage.
We're trying.
Yes, using cinnamon stick, your peppermint quarterstaff, all the candy is just being jammed
She's
into
like,
the lock
is this
to
how
turn it.
thieves' tools work?
Is this a thief's tool? And stabs.
It's the holy
Go ahead.
Catholic.
I'm
With
not a thief.
advantage.
It's just-
I was so excited for my turn because I was going to cast Comprehend Languages so that I would understand Giant and then use Message as a bonus action because he's been letting us and try and intimidate the Giants
An
into letting
18.
the cursed Pegasus go.
beats the DC 17
Yes!
for the lock.
Yes!
Gingy,
Frickin' Gingy.
using your own broken arms and cinnamon stick and a little bit of gumdrop and just one kiss on it, you crank the lock. As it's not a counterclockwise, it's not a clockwise, it's a push and twist. Oh. As the lock springs
I love
open,
that.
Swiftwind immediately grabs you with his teeth, not to eat you, Ginger, but just hold on, and zoom out from the cage,
You got your horsey.
landing at Adora's feet.
Let's go.
What?
Let's go get him.
What?
We're killing him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Give me a second. I gotta do my
I'll
stretches.
stretch. Okay. I look into a camera that's not there.
He, little bit of ash, wipes it under his cheeks. Let's go.
And yeah, I'm gonna.
Adora, I'm going to say how many stamina points you have left, because I think you
I
used
think
2
I've used since the last long rest, or is it in total?
since the last long rest, because they come back on a long rest.
So I actually haven't used any since the last long rest.
We'll use the
One
Achilles
on
heel
the
for
first
sure.
Young that we killed.
You
No.
yes,
The very,
because
very
that was
first
how
one.
I allowed you to kill.
Oh, because I did
Yeah.
actually get a complete long rest.
You did get.
Right. So I have 3 left.
Well, no. So you did that one.
I haven't
Did
done
you
that.
do one
I
this first
only
fight?
remember her doing one this fight.
Yes, because you've been saving them because you didn't long rest. That's right. You've
Yep.
only ever had 3 this whole fight. So you do have them. I will let you know. Here's what's crazy. You basically have 3 free turns before they will have the frame of mind to telegraph attack to hold action to smack you out of the air. Right? So you have 3 attacks. Which one you want to smack
Oh,
first?
also, while we're still on the ground, Falcon, get on. You can hold up to 3
Can I do
people.
that?
You can hold up to 3 people.
And I guess Gingy kind of technically
Gingy
counts.
was here too. Here we go, gang. Gingy, Valka, and Adora. You have
2
3
Valkyries.
turns. Let's start. Which
And they're little
giant do you want to try to take out first? The mage or the king?
Whatever one's closest. I say.
Your seat, your choice.
Let's get the mage because he can do range stuff.
Go for the
Sounds
mage.
clever.
I was gonna
Very
say,
clever.
yeah. How do you want to attack the mage?
Cool. We're gonna kind of fly in and around behind through his legs, up near the back, so it kind of like comes near the neck. So then we can do a double slice across.
Okay, go ahead. Valka and Adora, if you want to stamina point it, you totally can.
Okay.
Gingy, I know you're very much out of spell slots, but Gingy, you can either offer advantage with like help action to help people out, or if there's other things you want to try, Gingy, as you're flying, be my guest.
Yeah, I'll do that. I think it's the help action. Or no, I think so. I missed it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Eat my cookie dough and just throwing things at the giant to offer advantage. Adora, go ahead, roll yours.
Just so you're aware, I'm bonus action to swap my crimson right back to my sword because I think I can only have one at a time.
Yes.
Oh no. so that's
You
two
do have
points
advantage from
damage.
Gingy though,
Thank you.
Adora. Thanks.
That is 22 instead of an 11.
This is a stamina point. How much damage are you dealing?
So that is going to be 2d6, which is 12 plus 6 is 18 points of damage.
18 to this first guy. Valka. Once you have it. I'll actually say, Adora, go ahead and take your other attacks real quick.
Oh yeah.
It's a 25 to hit.
25
Do you have
hits.
another action surge or only one?
Only
I only
one.
have one
But
action
again, you
surge.
get 3 free turns as Gingy offering permanent advantage, so to speak. You guys just, again,
Wait,
getting
did you
Swiftwind
use a
changes the
stamina
battle.
point?
Swiftwind is so fast,
Oh,
you're
that's right, I got
18
both.
hits.
Thank you.
Which is then another 18 points of damage for those hits.
So that's 36.
I kind of want to hold on to this last damage point if this is going to fail.
24.
24.
Again, all lightning and necrotic.
So, and then Valka, do you want to take your second? Because now he's looking on death's door.
Well, so what do you mean my second? I only get one attack.
You
And
get 3 turns before they can do anything.
Okay.
That's, again,
That's
getting
fine.
Swiftwind was a major change in the battle because giants are so big. A Pegasus can, fun fact, I use this strat with Hercules, you are in and out and they can't do anything
He's a
until they
fly.
have a chance to just hold a full action to hit you.
So my second attack was only a 12 to hit, but I
Need
get a
12
third one.
advantage from Gingy
Oh,
because
I
the
get
Dora
advantage.
didn't use it this time.
I didn't use this one.
Again, Gingy's got that held action
Oh,
to
that's
help.
an 18 to hit.
18 hits.
Hey, I did 18 to hit too.
I did not use a sound point this time.
Yes,
Okay.
you're still rolling for it, but this might do it for the mage. Because Shen got him punched. He was already looking bad.
19 points of damage.
19. How do you want to finish him off?
Yeah.
How do you want to finish off the mage?
And again, we've been kind of slicing at him from this Pegasus, and while Adora's
One
like
more
taking
pass.
her last attack, I'm like still leaning back while she's slicing, and like into the air, calling from the remnants of the storm clouds from this gross ice giant storm that they called down. I call down just like Thor's lightning into my sword and down and incinerate him. And then reaction. Am I technically within 30 feet of him because I just hit him?
Yeah.
Blood Curse of the Fallen Puppet. He's going to attack from
No!
Blood Curse of the Fallen Puppet. That's what a fucking blood hunter
You
does.
don't get to puppet the giant!
I puppet the mage of the Jotnar. Megan! Been waiting to do this all fight.
Oh my
God.
god.
Can we please put on
Curse
Thunderstruck by
of the
ACDC?
fallen... What?
We're not getting money.
Let's
I
just
have-
put on the music, right?
Oh my gosh. He's going... So...
I'm gonna amplify it too.
Stop!
He doesn't need the movement, but I think he gives him like a +2 to attack and damage.
+2 to attack
Or I
damage.
think...
You use your reaction to it. So like we say, final act of aggression.
Not to damage, just the attack roll. +2 to the
One
attack.
weapon. Okay, good. He can't use a spell. That was why I had to double check. I'm like, don't tell me he can just spell for. And so what? So he's using his axe to attack. Good.
Dang.
You let me play a blood hunter.
He is going to use his battle axe to hit his friend.
ACDC Thunderstruck.
No!
Did he not 20?
He got 20.
Yes!
In his final act.
Yes!
With another 2 damage. This is doubled. Oh my grody,
That was artfully orchestrated. Oh,
Like, in
I'm
real
going to
art,
say-
we are swirling,
Oh, yeah.
slicing. You're calling.
That's gonna do it for.
Did I just finish both of these? Technically?
Here's
the
what
only
makes me. Here's what makes me so mad.
it's okay, we all technically.
I am
King
not gonna
Farboti is a gross dude. But again, thanks to Shen, the stamina points, all the stuff, Farboti was looking horribly
Oh
hurt.
wow.
He probably wouldn't have
As with my multi-attack, because they're big enough, they have basically a normal stuff. This dude, he makes his attacks. When Farboti dies, whoever kills him is marked for death in hell. He is a marked. It is a
Oh
marked
my
creature,
gosh.
and no one
And
killed
none
him.
of us have that.
I was gonna have
Megan!
such a long con, like something was gonna. Oh, but you guys killed Farboti. Remember ages ago? No.
That's so cool! I did
As-
not.
Oh my
That
gosh.
was- Yes! Yes!
Is
That feels so good!
That's insane.
That is Malcolm. Oh,
Please do ACDC Thunderstruck.
yes!
not Thunderstruck, but Immigrant Stuff as a Pegasus
You-
Gingy
Oh my
flinging
gosh.
candies everywhere. As Shen strikes a cool pose, Minarith buys back her soul. A streak of fire and lightning and ice erupts around the king of the Jotnar. Farboti slashes around, turns, but before he can attack a simple Pegasus, his own mage, one of the High Jotun, brings forth a giant axe with a giant house-sized diamond in the middle, slashes through, boom, as the head flies off far into the distance. You all level up, and that is where we end
Do we get
tonight's
2 levels
session.
for 11
We should get
years?
No,
We should get
you
2.
get 1.
2.
1.
We get a lot of
Thank
XP
you
for the
all
next one.
so very
We
much
might get
for
a level
playing.
for
Thank you for listening.
if they're-
I will see you all next time. Bye bye.
Bye-bye!